What's up, guys? StudFit here for another episode of the Rundown. Not just another episode, but the episode of the Rundown. The biggest change we've seen in Mario Kart Tour history. And not only that, but we are joined by my good friend MTD Ben. Welcome, man.
Thank you for having me, StudFit.
So the reason that Ben is here, two-part. One is Antilev is on vacation, so I hope Antilev you are enjoying the calm before the storm because we're going to come back to some craziness, updating in spreadsheets and different meta strategies change. But that's part one. Part two, we've had a multiplayer contest over the course of the month of February. Ben won. It was a great battle. I know he and Groovy were going back and forth throughout the month, and Ben pulled ahead and won it. I think Hero got second. Groovy was not able to join us on the last night, but Hero and Groovy will be joining us on Kart Talk. So look forward to that next week. There's certainly a lot to talk about. But Ben is our winner. He joined us, and it's actually pretty fitting. Ben is kind of a data guru himself. Very involved in the numbers. You might have seen, in fact, the All Cup ranking MVP is his spreadsheet. He's been managing. It was his idea, and so when you see that, you have Ben to thank. So Ben, it's an absolute pleasure. I have no doubt you'll be able to jump in and add some really good context for what is a crazy tour.
Yes, I'm hoping that I can contribute a lot of meaningful information in addition to what StudFit's bringing. So excited to do this.
I just bring the hot takes and usually just insert foot into mouth, which I'm getting pretty good at here lately. All right, well, I do want to make special thanks to our member community. Really, we could not do this without them. Literally, my wife wouldn't let me. So I am so thankful for everyone on here. We've actually been growing quite a lot. Some of the newest members, Cold joined us. Shadows Legend 3000 from Australia has joined us here recently. The KFET, a very generous member. You've probably seen a number of the content creators throw him some major high fives because he was very generous and giving us some shout outs. And then on the housetop, additionally added, and then and Zooms is back as well. Probably should change that color, but Zooms was a member, and we have members come and go, and the thing is that we always have an open door. I know once the second anniversary hit, I took a very focused effort to just say, hey, you know, I'd love to have our subscribers grow, but really this is about my members. Everything that I kind of do is really focused on, you know, how would I be able to help the members? How can I bring value to them? What would be a way that I could get them involved in what we're already doing? So you saw with the reveal, I wasn't doing reveals before, but I said, you know, this is a great opportunity to get my my members involved. Give them just one more way to be able to enjoy Mario Kart Tour because we don't have enough content to enjoy on a normal basis. But we have a very special episode. We got a lot of special kind of breakout information. So we'll get into each one of these. I don't want to spend too much time, but I never want to skip over this. There's so many great people on this live. So I think when we talked about Level 8 coming out, you know, that was the first piece of information that we found out. So I kind of put that here first. But we have a number of these. How do we process this type of slides? Level 8, obviously, we knew about them. We knew that there were Miis, and then we slowly found out more and more information. I think every time that we come into a new tour, on most tours, you know, we can open up the app and within, 10 minutes, really find out about 80% of what we need to find out for that tour. And then, by the end of the day, we probably know about 90%. And then, by the time that the rundown comes out, we know most of what's going on. We know all the buffs. We know kind of the impact that the game is having. Well, this tour is unlike any other in that I think when we opened up this slide, we only knew about 50-60% of what was going on. And so you saw my reveal, I was very confused. I didn't know what was going on. I think at the end of the day, we might have known 60-70. I think even at this point in time in the game, we may only know 80-90% of what's going on. There's data miners are still crunching. I sent a huge thanks to Hydra earlier tonight. So thankful for what he does. And all the data miners, I don't know them all personally. I've brought in some data mining slides into here too. And then a huge shout out to Tabor. I know he's slaved. There were, in fact, I think he messaged me all the different changes that's happened in the game. It's absolutely insane to think about it. I kind of want to give him. So there were just in the daily selects, 17 new drivers added. There were 25 new carts added, 17 gliders added. When it comes to the level 8 information, there were 103 high-end drivers buffed with 74 unique level 8 courses. There were 152 high-end carts buffed with 111 unique level 8 courses. 123 high-end gliders buffed with 88 unique level 8 courses. Overall, 378 high-end items buffed with 148 unique level 8 courses. So just a huge thank you, huge shout out to everyone that does a spreadsheet, everyone that is helping the community in so many different ways. This was a tough one, and we so appreciate your work. It has been tested to the limit. But now we'll try to take that information and present it to you in a fun way. We'll start here with the level boost tickets. So as you probably have already found this out, to take something from level 2, level 3, all the way up to level 8, it's going to take a lot of tickets. I think the biggest surprise, Ben, was probably the normal tickets, huh?
Yeah, definitely. Previously, like from level 2 to level 6, it was like +3 tickets in order to get to the next level. Level 7 already broke that precedent, doubling the extra amount of tickets to 6. Like you needed 20 instead of 14. Now they just went out and doubled it. So that's just absurd. Like so much resources to max out something to level 8.
It's a lot. This slide gives you a little bit cleaner look, and so you can kind of do the head math there. To take something from level 1 that's a high end all the way up to level 8, it takes a total of 22 tickets. Assuming you already have it at 1 because you own it, it's going to take that many tickets to take it to level 8. So that's a lot of tickets. They've been very generous with the tickets, which is nice. But it still takes a lot of tickets. I think many of us, as soon as we heard the news, we started saving, and even then, we came in with I think the biggest stash I've ever had, and I made a couple investments. But man, it's been absolutely brutal. The one thing I'll say about it is, you'll notice that when you take something to 8, and if you haven't taken something to 8, I'll let you know what it looks like. The number 8 it kind of has like a glow to it, and then there's like this little shimmer that kind of moves halfway through. So, part of me thinks maybe this is like the final level. And then I remember that Nintendo is greedy. And so they'll probably just not make it shiny or make the level 9 even shinier or something. But there is something in the back of my mind thinking that this jump from 5 to 8 is just so massive. And they keep coming out with new items every tour. I don't know. Maybe this is the final level, and that glow, that shimmer, might be that their way of kind of showing us that and kind of letting us, maybe trying to pull us away from the cliff a little bit. But Ben, what do you think? Am I too optimistic?
That is a nice sentiment to have. That maybe this is the last one. But I think just with the spiked up number of tickets you need, they're really, really trying to slow down the progress of everyone, or at least probably more so the whales. But yeah, it's just going to take so many more resources to try to get everything to 8. I think they want us to really think about what we invest in instead of just willy-nilly throwing tickets on whatever you want, which isn't necessarily a bad thing or a wrong thing, but just makes you really consider what you want to do with your tickets. It would probably in most cases be more efficient to level something from level 1 to 6 than it is to level from 7 to 8. You just earn so many more points going through many levels versus just that extra jump to 8. Even though the scoring potential is still extremely high with 8, but yeah, it's a balance, I guess.
It is. It's been crazy seeing scores in the 60s, across the board. I'm looking at stuff in
Right,
ranked.
right.
I mean, really, all three of these tracks could be in the 50s. I know that even if you got like 200 action count and you're above 200 player level, you can get if you hit all eights, you can get 60,000 on this Ghost Valley. So
Yeah.
it is breaking precedents. All the world records are being broken, I'm sure. So yeah, we'll see how this goes forward. But I guess for you, and maybe it's a good time to kind of tell the people at home, where do you kind of fall on that scale from free to play to dolphin to whale on like a 10-point scale? Where would you say you landed?
Well, I think I'd probably consider myself maybe a 3 or a 4. Like, I've spent on packs in the past. It's kind of comes and goes in waves. Like, I think Penguin Tour and a couple of the tours before and after that, I ended up buying a couple of things. But it's been a few tours since I actually went out of my way to get something. So, I don't know.
We'll call you a
not
4.
too much.
Call it a day.
4 is probably fine.
It can be kind of fluid too. I for many months I was a 9 or 10. Basically getting every pack until I kind of hit a plateau. It's probably in the fall, and I realized hey, I'm sprinting to walk. Now I'm stuck here. I don't want to pull on pipes because I have stuff at level 7. And here we are again. I've kind of been at a 7 or 8 here lately, maybe even a 6 because I've been only buying half the packs, if that. But now it's now I feel like I have to kind of be a 9 again, just at least for this tour and another tour, just to kind of, I don't know, get it a little bit of a head start, and maybe I'll be. It's kind of running through the same system that I did last year where I regretted it later, but. I don't mind these packs, and I think right now it's been nice getting these tickets and putting investments. I don't know. We've got our first set, I guess, of tickets both Wednesday, Thursday, Friday for drivers, karts, and gliders. Have you made any investments using these tickets and kind of thinking about things in this levels 1 through 6 versus and taking it to 7 or 8?
I have not spent any of my tickets yet. I've still been waiting it out a bit to see what happens with daily selects. But I think for now, I'm probably not going to take too many things to level 8. Maybe just Gold Glider or something. And then for the most part, I'm going to focus on bringing stuff from level 1 to level 6. Because that's a greater point gain. And I think having gaps of level 1 is more detrimental than having something at level 7 instead of level 8. But yeah, ultimately I just kind of wanted to wait until trackers were finished before I really looked into it more. So I haven't had a chance to think about it too much yet.
Yeah, it's the smart way to do it. As for myself, I really focused in on karts, and that's what I had the most tickets on. So, I took the Vampire Flyer and the Silver King, and I have the Yellow Off-Roader at now 7,800. But the goal is kind of to use that kart trifecta. I made a video on it maybe a month or two ago, and really it covers, I think it was something 21 or something of the 27 assumed tracks. Now, the hard part is it's hard to keep up. They've been giving us so many new tracks, so I don't have Sky Garden, fully covered out, and I don't have now this Mushroom Gorge fully covered. But I think that's my strategy is let me be as efficient as possible, just focusing in on the new assumed tracks. I'll worry about Mario Circuit later. I'll worry about some of these other tracks later. Right. So for me, it's I'm just going to focus on the new assumed tracks. I presented in there, and then hopefully fill out the gaps as I have these trackers. And I'm kind of hoping, this next track that we get is a new track as well. So I'll have kind of batches of 3 where I can kind of look back and say, all right, hey, this out of these last 3 tracks, here's where I need to invest, and I can kind of see where things are covering multiple tracks. Whereas if I try to do that every tour, I feel like I'm trying to play catch up and I'm never fully ahead. So that's
Yeah.
my recommendation is, and I think for the majority of people, I think just having one item at 8 is great because you at least have X number of tracks covered. So like a good example would be I saw a lot of people take the Great Black Sail to level 8. And so all 30 whatever tracks it has, it's your best glider, and it's going to be really really clutch for you. So doing something like that is, and then to Ben's point, focusing in on filling those gaps, and don't worry about so much about getting everything to 8. Just get like one or two pillars in your inventory, and then just kind of fill in those gaps, just like Ben was mentioning. So good. Anything else you want to mention about level boost tickets and kind of that strategy?
Um, I think any other comments I have are going to be more daily
Okay.
selects related.
Let's move into daily selects, though. There's been some mixed information, so I kind of want to mention what we do know, and then most importantly, what we don't know. And I'll let Ben take the majority of this. In fact, why don't you just kick us off here? Tell us what we do know and what we don't know about our shop in this new update.
All right, I'll do my best here. So in one of the news sections, they detailed exactly which items were being added to the daily select starting this tour. So they added the other two normal carts and normal gliders that were available in the pipes but previously were not in daily select. And they did the same for the super drivers, carts, gliders. All of those pictured were available in pipes only for the most part, and now they're all in daily selects. And then the high end, there's a lot of new high ends as well in the shop. All of these are available in the all clear pipe or like as a regular high end, from what I can tell. And now some of them you can buy for 12,000, 10K if they show up. So another important thing about the daily selects is that you don't need anything maxed out to have a chance of high-end tickets. In the news, they mentioned that in the bottom 3 slots of the daily selects, there would be a base chance for high-end tickets to appear. Based on what data miners have found so far, it appears that the rate for each slot is 3%, and I think that's just for any high-end ticket. I don't know if it differentiates between cart, glider,
I feel like
driver.
that was 7 through 9, but I might be wrong.
The slots 7 through 9 is the bottom 3. That's the 7 through 9 that was mentioned.
Right. Those are 3%? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, there's like a 3% chance in each slot to have a high-end ticket show up without anything maxed.
Yep. Or a cap ticket as well, I guess, too, right?
Oh, yes. The other thing, they added the possibility for cap tickets to show up in the shop as well. So you get like a normal driver cap ticket, high-end glider cap ticket, any of those. We don't know exactly the rates at which these appear or whether you need anything maxed. We've seen reports that people have gotten cap tickets without having anything maxed. But again, we still don't know a lot of the details pertaining to rates and how having things maxed out affects the appearance of more tickets. Another thing I want to mention is that graphic that we're showing you, it's not designating the categories that the daily selects have been previously broken into. This
Very important.
is
Yep.
just a graphic designed to show what is newly added to the daily selects. So the stuff in the red boxes is new to the daily selects. But that does not mean that they are in their own category per se. Based on some conversations I had with data miners a couple days ago, it appears that all of this new stuff was added into the base categories. So like the red kitty cart, green kitty cart are part of the base carts, and all the premium categories stay the same. But again, we don't really know the effects of maxing out a category, whether you need a category to increase your chances of high-end tickets or any tickets at all. So for those kinds of details, we're going to have to wait and see what the community reports, see what the data miners find. There's still so much in the air that we need to wait to figure out.
Yeah, I'd love to hear your strategy. For I think a lot of people, we're still focused in on at least maxing out the holy trinity there, the baby Luigi, the pipe buggy, and was it the
piranha plant parafoil.
So that would be kind of our recommendation. We don't know for sure, but I think that's a pretty safe bet. I know each one of those are going to take 40 tickets, so that is a lot, but I think if you at least do that, I don't think you can go wrong. I mean, if you max out 3 normals, I would highly recommend those be your first 3, and then we'll wait and see what happens. Could be wrong, but I think that's probably the best avenue to go. Now, I know that the way that the shops worked prior, you had to have a daily select high-end maxed in order for you to start getting high-end tickets. Now, as Ben just alluded to, you always have the chance of getting a high-end ticket in that row 7, 8, 9 spot there on the very, very bottom, regardless of whether you have it maxed. Now, the question is, can you still get a high-end ticket in other slots if you don't have that high-end maxed? Still don't know that, but I think in some situations I saw Carlos talk a little bit about Pauline and you having to do that. I'm not sure you absolutely have to, but that certainly could be the chance that you do. I know I've seen some other people take the Cloud Glider to 7. I think that might even be the avenue I go down, just because at this point in time, to me, when you're thinking about high-end tickets, I honestly believe that the driver is actually probably the most valuable. It used to be, for me, because of the way that the high-end odds were in the daily selects, it was 5%. So I just seem to always have these driver tickets just accumulating, and then I just had them stored and stashed ready to dump on the next Coinboxer or on the next top skill. And then, daily selects dried up, and then all of a sudden this hit. And right now, I have, X number of Coinboxers, 13 Coinboxers, whatever it is, that I need to get to level 8. And those high-end tickets, I don't want to put that on Pauline. Whereas a glider, or maybe even one of these 2 carts, which I don't think I have either one of them at levels 7 to begin with. I think for me, the Cloud Glider would be the safest if you do want to follow that belief. I know the Gold Glider was the first high-end that I maxed. I don't know if there's a big difference between the premium or regular when it comes to those high-end gliders, but I do think that that's a pretty safe bet too. But again, I would probably lean away from the drivers just because those driver tickets are going to be so valuable. Trying to get your Coinboxers up to level 8 if you need to, or at least up to level 7. So that would be my piece of advice. We'll have to kind of wait and see how everything pans out with everything that's in these red circle boxes here, but anything you want to add to that, Ben?
Well, I kind of just wanted to bring up how much it would cost to max out any of these categories if the new items were in fact added to the base category. So let's look at normal drivers first. There are 14 if you also include Baby Luigi, since you'll probably be maxing him out anyways. So that's 40 tickets times 800 coins each, and then there's 14 of them. So that's 480,000 coins.
Wow.
To max out just the normal drivers. So I think just considering that, it sounds very impractical for people to try to max out these categories. So if we look at normal carts, there's 11 of them, 500 coins per ticket. That'll be 220,000 coins. Normal gliders, it would cost 180,000 coins to max out the 9 commons. Base super drivers, so that's like Mario, Peach, Yoshi, and then as well as Birdo, Hammer Bro, Boomerang Bro, all of those. There's 21 of them, and it takes 16 to max out, 3,000 coins each. That's 1,000,000.
Wow.
And 8,000 coins. And then super carts, it'll take 512,000 coins, and base super gliders would be 256,000. So I think, in a way, Nintendo's being generous by actually providing a base chance for those high-end tickets without needing to max anything. That's just ginormous investment that would take probably years to even max out like one category, especially for like free to play, who only get like 300 coins per day. So I think to help compensate for that, they opened up a couple more slots in the tier shop, which I don't think we brought up yet. If you reach tier 55, 60, and 65, there's one more slot each, and they have a guaranteed high-end ticket in each slot. So that's, in some sense, it feels like the tier shop is going to be the more efficient way to go for getting high-end tickets instead of the daily selects. At least that is the argument that I've heard from a bunch of people.
Yeah, certainly in the short term. You know, it comes at a premium cost, but you know, I think at this point in time, you know, when you look at those coins you just mentioned there, Ben, I don't think that's a practical way to do it at all. Just, you know, let things max its way through pulling pipes, and eventually the daily selects will become a thing where you're actually starting to kind of close some gaps. But unless you're even an oversized dolphin, you're not going to even be close to maxing this stuff out for at least a few months. I know some people make it look easier than others, but it's going to take a long time. There's just so many items here, guys. Like this is not like how it was last year. And especially when you look at, the good thing about it though is that there's a lot of new high-end items that will be really fun to see in your daily selects, right? So you open it up and you see like the off-roader, the
Banana Master.
Banana Master. Like, how cool would that be, man? That'll be fun. That'll be so exciting. So I'm looking forward to one day that being the case, and so maxing out these normals and supers slowly but surely. But yeah, there's just a lot of items, and there's just not going to be a very efficient way other than just letting the game pull it, but maybe looking a little differently at those tier shop items. Really, really good point.
Yes.
Good. Moving forward, Ben, I hope you enjoyed that little break of me talking, because you're going to be talking a lot. This is something actually resource that Ben put together for the community. And it really ties in the changes in points based off. We already got kind of a heads up in the news that there would be a change to the points. Ben's broken it down, so I won't even try to take a stab. I'll let you take it from here, Ben.
Okay, yeah. So in the previous tour, Nintendo announced that they would be changing the amount of points that essentially the non-plus skilled items would award you. So I guess before I go into it too much, I should briefly talk about how points are calculated. So the point system is pretty complex if you haven't already picked up on that. So every action is assigned a base amount of points, like a base value per se. So a coin, for example, is worth 5 base points. And then if you look closer at this table, you can see like a banana is worth 25 base points. And these are all numbers. You would earn this amount of points if you were using a bottom shelf normal cart at level 1, and you started with a 0 combo and used like a not top tier driver. And yeah. So anyways, this base value will be modified by a number of things, which includes the cart shelf. If you use a cart at the top shelf, you get a two times multiplier. Mid shelf is 1.5. Bottom shelf is just 1. And then the cart type and level will also impact it. Like if you scroll all the way past the courses, you'll get to like the details of the leveling. So like a normal cart at level 1, it's just a straight 1.00 multiplier.
Mm-hmm.
But every even numbered level, it'll go up by 5%. So 1.05 multiplier, and then the max that can be would be a level 8 high-end cart, which can be 1.3% of that base value. So yeah, the base value of the action gets multiplied by those two things, and then you can add the combo bonus. Like if you achieve like a 16 combo, you'll be getting an additional 45% or 45 points per action if you're using a top shelf glider. And then there's also the bonus points boost that gets added to that. So what Nintendo did was they changed the base value for a lot of the special skills. So, for example, the bananas that come from a banana barrel, instead of earning you 25 base points, it'll earn you 55. So that's already double what it was before. And in this table, I included, the base item just for comparison purposes. So like a bob-omb that comes from a bob-omb cannon, instead of earning 25, I think that says 55. It's a little small for me.
From the bob-omb cannon?
Yeah.
55 base after the update.
Right. So
30-point change.
So they're trying to increase the value of the traditionally non-plus skills.
So, just to explain the sheet where you see the gold, these are so you see obviously the items on the far left, and then you see some of these having white. Those would be the base that Ben was talking about. You see some in gold. These are the skills that the driver would have, and then you have the next column, which is the base points before the update. And then where you see yellow, these are ones where you saw the change in the base. And this is the actual total now. And then with the next column in green, showing you the change in those. So the darker the green, the bigger the change. So the two that made the biggest jump there were Super Bell and Super Leaf. You want to talk to us a little bit about those?
Yeah, so the most drastic change, like Studfit mentioned, was between the Super Bell and the Super Leaf. Prior to the update, they were worth 25 base points each, and then now they're each worth 75 base points each. So that's 3 times what it was before. So that, I think, that could make it so that those items are a little bit more viable. I don't know how game-changing it is. I'd have to try to run more, I guess, intense calculations. But from the preliminary calculations that I did, I'm going to say that the effect that these changes will have, they'll be more pronounced for players with weaker loadouts than they will for people who have like everything at level 7 and 8. I had a little thing. I don't know. I'll look at it real quick.
And while you're doing that, some of the skills that are less aggressive, things like dash ring or triple mushrooms, went up a little bit. 5 per action, so it went from 10 to 15. So it's not a huge jump, but because you're getting multiple actions, it can add up. It's just not going to be as drastic as a Super Bell or Super Leaf. Which I think is really interesting, and I think that maybe there's some skills such as like Giga Bomb that might see some maybe better value. The one other part is the bob-omb accuracy for the cannon. Obviously that went up from 25 to 55, and you can get 4 or 5 of those. It could be a higher action count than I think some of these others. I think some of the Super Bell can be hard to get a really strong hit, whereas I think the bob-omb cannon can be a lot of I think 4 or 5 hits is probably pretty maybe normal for a frenzy, but I think that could be fun. Bowser's Shell, I was kind of hoping to see that one go up a little bit more than that, but it did go up 10. I think overall though it's interesting. I don't think it'll play too much into the meta, but it just won't be as drastic of a difference in a gap between. Again, we're talking about a number of points here and there, and that's before the multiplier. So,
Right.
I think it's just worth testing, worth getting used to it, and seeing if it really makes a big difference. I think Coinbox is still king. You still got the
Yeah.
skill, the top skills in their own tier.
Yeah, so I definitely don't think it's going to outshine Coinbox, but it'll just make things a little more viable otherwise. Some of the calculations I did were done in relation to what a single coin would earn you. So for like a mid-shelf cart with like a 1.05 multiplier with a second tier glider, comparing the value of a coin versus like a Super Bell hit, the Super Bell hit would be worth almost 4 times as much as one coin. But once you go to like level 7s, level 8s, and like top tier gliders, then that difference between a coin and like a Super Bell hit becomes more like twice the value of a coin. And that's mostly due to the additive of the bonus points boost being more influential than the multipliers themselves. So
yeah, the point systems is confusing. We'll just put it that way. Wish it would make it. I was kind of hoping that they could use this time to make it a little bit more concise and clear. I made a whole presentation on it and never actually recorded it because I still never felt great about how I could help clear it up. But let me just clear one thing up, since you might know this more than I do. If you're getting a frenzy, a lot of these actions are called, frenzy actions. But these aren't. Would these be replaced by frenzy actions, or these would also be in addition to, or would any of these points be taken into consideration during a frenzy?
Yes, any of the hits that you land or mushrooms that you use will be affected by these base point changes. You will still also get the frenzy actions. Those are 1 base point each, so you don't get as many points from the frenzy actions themselves. But yes, these values will hold during a frenzy.
Good. One thing I did want to mention, had some good conversations in the Frenzy Fan server with Bob Loblob, and he mentioned about the banana accuracy. You want to talk to us a little bit about that, Ben?
Yes. So one of the things that can increase the amount of points you get for an action is the glider skill. In the past, using a banana plus glider would provide you more points for any of the bananas that spawn from a giant banana. So you would get, if you're using a high-end glider, an extra 30 points per banana hit small banana from a giant banana. But as of this update, I think me and Reichenbach both tested this out. The Banana Plus does not work on those small bananas from the giant banana anymore.
You're just talking about the extra points from a banana glider.
Yes.
So you're still getting the actions, you're still getting the accuracy, but you're just not getting that bonus by using a banana glider.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. So just putting that out there, if that was, I think that would have been a great strategy. I don't know how many times I was pairing those two, and maybe it was a little bit more rare than normal. But I would say this. The feedback that Bob Lob is getting from Nintendo is just it's a lot of dodging the question, and they don't really see it as a bug or an issue. It seems like, but Ben, great. Thank you for putting this together. Anything else you want to add?
Is there anything? Well, I just want to say thank you to Reichenbach and Hydra for helping me out with this. Reichenbach helped me test stuff, and Hydra helped us with some of the more difficult things to test. I do have like a link to the spreadsheet where this is all from. I can share it with you, StudFit, and
yeah, we'll put it in the description. That's a great idea. Yep. Talking about Hydra, this is a good transition to state of the mining. It's kind of essentially reviewing some of where things are with the data mining. A couple, really three major points I wanted to provide based on what I've seen. Feel free to leave a comment, any notes in the comments if you've heard of other things. But this is a huge spoiler alert. If you don't want to be spoiled, go ahead and fast forward about 10 minutes or so. We might be done talking about it by then. But Hydra confirms that the points bonus at the end of the race increases by 10 for each player level between 150 to 199. Of course, I believe this also takes place between. I think at this point in time, just keep that in the back of your mind. So if you're at level, say I'm like a level 183. So if I were to go up 17 levels, that'd be 17 times 10. It'd be 170 points added. Maybe not the end of the world. But what happens is between levels 200 and 300, this points bonus at the end of the race increases by 5. So for most of you guys that may be below 200, focus on getting to level 200. That's going to be really kind of a huge mile marker. As compared to really thinking about things like, oh my gosh, level 300, I can't get to level 300, so I'm just not going to do anything at all. You might want to just, kind of make it a little push, get to player level 200, and from that point forward, there is that point of diminishing return, but at least you're getting those points up until then. And really your competitors that are, at player level, say 250, really aren't making that much more of a stride than if you were at 175 like you are. So just kind of put that in the back of your mind. Is just, try to get to level 200 if you can. There is a point of diminishing return that you can try to take advantage of. And then he also has confirmed that the amount of XP gained remains the same, meaning that we saw a huge drop in the XP that you were getting after level 100, and we weren't sure if that was going to drop even more after 150 or drop after 200. It looks like it stays the same after you hit over 100. It stays the same all the way to 300. Based on what we've heard from Hydra, feel free to let me know if you heard otherwise, but we are still learning things. Everything I'll say on this slide, take with a grain of salt. Things might change. They might, first of all, Nintendo can change anything they want at any point in time. But this is based on different, very unique writing of the code, and so we're we might misunderstand something, we might get something wrong, but just know that is always the case when it comes to reviewing data mining. Anything you want to mention about some of the stuff that Hydra's brought to the table, Ben? Pretty straightforward there.
I guess kind of just about the leveling in general.
Yeah.
So the finishing bonus that we're kind of talking about is what happens at the end of the race. If you didn't have any bonus points boost, at level 150, you would be getting 6,000 points for finishing in first. Based on these rates of increases per level, by the time you hit level 200, you should be getting 6,500 at the end. And once you hit level 300, which I don't think is possible right now, there's not enough courses, it will be 7,000 at the end of a race. So perhaps for a ranked cup, the level won't matter a ton unless you're level 50 and your opponents are 175 or something. But I think the level cap has a bit more of an impact on ACR than anything, because the difference in points is multiplied by 36. So, yeah.
Yeah, that can add up for all cup rankings. So getting that player level up to level 200 is amplified even more if you do all cup ranking. Good point there, Ben. The second piece we found out here is that there might be a tour coming up, potentially even next tour. Again, we want to not speak in absolutes. But there has been some data mining that there are going to be some new items coming up, including Birdo White, Black Turbo Yoshi, and White Turbo Birdo. I'm surprised I got those all correct. Based on looking at the calendar, we're gonna be running up with these expert challenges here coming up here soon. And when that's been the case, there's always been a versus tour. Not always. I think there was one caveat to this, but so far that has been the pattern for like really the last like 4 or 5 expert challenges. But there was one where that was not the case. We weren't sure with the Wario versus Waluigi what was going to happen. We're coming off of a weird time with the New Year's, etc. But most likely, my guess, and from reading this information, is that next tour, what would be an Easter tour, could be a Yoshi versus Birdo tour, where we get some the white items that were for Yoshi and the black items that were for Birdo are now kind of flip a little bit. So we might get a Birdo White and a Black Turbo Yoshi and a White Turbo Birdo. So if you like Turbo and you like Yoshi and you like Birdo, you're going to be very, very happy with this upcoming tour. But again, anything could happen. Nintendo could totally scrap this whole idea. My guess is that this actually makes a lot of sense, and I could see this totally happening. All items that, when we're focused on level 8, these might not be what we were, necessarily expecting. So that might also help you decide if these are going to be the pipes you pull here in this tour. Knowing that these items are maybe not quite as cool, but maybe you want to focus in on some of the stuff that's going on here. Yeah, Yellow Off-Roader, Cactar, some of the stuff that are in these pipes here. Do you want to add anything to that, Ben?
I don't think I have anything for that part.
Okay. The final thing I'll mention, and I think one of a good transition for us as we move forward into the Miis and everything that I can't believe we're 45 minutes. We haven't talked about Miis yet. This is going to be probably the longest episode ever. You're going to have to give Antilev a hard time for going on vacation during this one here. But
it's fine. This is fine.
Cool. Sam78IT found this on Reddit, and he and I had some conversations. He allowed me to use his name, and he even gave me a little bonus information. But one of the things that he found out from his data mining is that there are 24 drivers that get a cup boost on the Mii Cup. Now, typically what happens is you get a cup boost on the Mario Cup, and there's one driver. It's Mario. But we have, as you noticed when you opened up, especially in ranked, there's basically every Mii driver on the Mii Cup for the Mushroom Gorge. Well, there apparently are 24 drivers that are associated to this cup boost on Mii Cups, just in general in the code. So that's kind of leading us to believe that there are going to be a total of, when it's all said and done, 24 total Miis. In fact, he has actually a few colors and names, and they all have numbers associated with them, which I'll be happy to read. But we already know at this point in time that there are 10 that exist, and so knowing that there are going to be another 14 is pretty incredible. We do know that the Miis themselves will give a base point of 10 points. We'll kind of talk a little bit about that, and it looks as if those will be capped at some point. So I think one of the things that gives me peace about this is that, when we see all these Mii suits, we think like, oh, I got to get this. I think this, what if this is the only time it's here? Or I need to get these base points. They're going to like really help me out. Just know that, let's say if they cap them at 10 or cap them at 14 or even cap them at 20, you still got some wiggle room. They're probably not going to make sure that you have to have all 24 for you to get those 10 points for all of them. They're probably not going to give you credit for all of them, is my point. Is that, so if you have to miss a couple, don't worry about it. I think for us, it's like, the skills that are top skills are going to be the ones that you want. And so the DK suit, I think, is going to be a popular one right now that people are going to get. Of course, we have the bronze, silver, gold that are going to be must-haves as well. But really, I think, whatever that max is, that's going to be like what you want to get one of at least, and then stock up on tickets for this Coinbox when it comes down the pike about 10 weeks in. That's the other part about the data mining, is that we've found out that essentially looking at the cards. So you've seen the challenge cards for you to be able to
Team
get the
challenges.
bronze. Yeah, the Mii challenge card.
Tier challenges.
Yep. So right now there's a bronze one available, and if you opened up the app at the wrong time, you may not have access to it this week. But yeah, I did that as well. I actually was grinding ACR at the last minute, like an idiot. So I will not get that suit this week, but that suit is available to potentially get this tour, and then based on what the cards we know coming up. It has shown us that we will not be able to get that gold suit until we hit tier 80. And that will not happen for 10 weeks. So, I think this is a great time to be building up tickets and saving those driver tickets for that moment. Because I do think that gold suit's going to be pretty strong from a meta perspective. And really, it's kind of, in my opinion, kind of throwing a bone to the new players, just allowing them to be able to kind of jump in on this meta. It's not a meta killer. Ben, you want to jump in?
Well, I was going to say most new players, if this gold Mii suit is only available for tier 80, new players aren't going to be able to get to tier 80 for at least over a year. So,
yep.
Just wanted to dispute that point real quick.
Yeah, no, that's a really solid point. Is that the new players are going to run into that issue with the tier. I will say, I watched Kevin Garrett's. I watched basically a lot of the content creators reveal, and he didn't have his camera on the first time. It was unfortunate, but his second video, definitely check that out. He has a unique take where he does feel that the gold suit will come back in some pack or pipe or something like that at some other point to help out these new players. I think that will eventually happen, but I don't think that'll happen in the next year. I think that is going to be kind of like this absolute meta of all metas, or Nintendo's going to treat it that way. I think they really want us to be able to have that, and so from that perspective, I do think they're going to keep it extremely exclusive, and they'll pull it out when they need to. But I don't think honestly that's coming out anytime soon. I think if you do collect, the downside too is that the size of the Miis are medium size. They're not large, and so hey, maybe the point difference of getting these base points of 10 here and there is less than having a wider hitbox and getting a couple extra coins. So keep that in the back of your mind too. I do believe though this Coinboxer, when it does come out, will be the strongest driver in the game. I think already we're seeing some great coverage for it. And we'll get into some of that. But I just want to mention, from that perspective, when you think about it, there being 24 Miis, just remember, you're probably not going to need all of them. Just relax. Right now, like there's only 10. So I need to get all 10. Hey, just let's pace ourselves. There's plenty of Miis out there. There's probably going to be other ways we get them. And so from that perspective, it's just nice to know that there's kind of this total number out there. And from that perspective, I know from talking with Sam, one of the things that he mentioned, I was actually trying to find the post itself, but he talks about the colors and like the numbers associated with them. Probably going to have a hard time finding it while I'm doing this, but he gave me a bonus information. He said one of the things that he found out and has confirmed. He has one other piece of information he wouldn't let me know because he hasn't actually fact checked it yet. But he did confirm this one, which is that there are now thresholds in the game associated to tracks. So if someone scores a certain amount on a track, it actually sets off a red flag for Nintendo. So he mentioned in the code, Mushroom Gorge has this threshold of 100,000 points. So if someone is getting over 100,000 points on Mushroom Gorge, Nintendo knows about it, and most likely they'll probably get their account banned. So if you are banning, or if you're using cheat stuff, applications or whatever, bad boys, we're gonna get you. So it's just a matter of time. So that's the only thing I had left on the state of mining. Ben, did you want to add anything that wasn't on this spreadsheet?
No. I feel like we should probably get into more of the meat of the tour at this point.
Let's do it. I think you can't move into the meat without talking about Coinboxes. Coinboxes are king. So These are basically what I consider the winners from this level 8. So when you get something to level 8, you get a brand new track added to your arsenal. Now, of course, Coinbox is king. So any time someone's getting an additional track that's a Coinboxer, that's massive. So there are specifically 5 drivers, Coinbox drivers. They got an exclusive track, meaning that there are no other Coinboxers on that track. For Pinkle Peach, she got Rosalina's Ice World T. Now, you might recognize her on this track. She has been cup boosted because Pinkle Peach has her own cup, and so she's had this track I think twice that I've seen. I think once even in ranked that she's had this track. So you're familiar with seeing her on it. You're like, this isn't new. Well, it was one of her favorite tracks on the second tier that moved up to the third tier based on her cup boost. But now she permanently has this if you have her at level 8. Koopa Troopa Beach 2T. Rosalina Swimwear now has that track as the only Coinboxer there. Mario Tuxedo has Calamari Desert 2 RT. Bowser Santa has Rosalina Ice World RT. And then Mario Hakama has Donut Plains 2 RT. So these are the winners of level 8 is kind of how we've presented this. With all that being said, I've put together a small section on the bottom here. These are the kind of the updated Coinbox drivers, number of exclusive tracks of their total tracks. So Mario Tuxedo, as much flack as he's gotten, has the most exclusive tracks. None of these are including cities, so these are just the assumed tracks. Mario Tuxedo has the most exclusive tracks of any Coinboxer. He has 8 of his total including cities, total of 28 tracks. So 8 assumed tracks, non-city tracks that he is exclusive on. That is massive for him. I didn't even realize that. I'm a big Tuxedo fan myself. I did not notice that until just looking at this information. Obviously, this level 8 helps him out in that extent. Meowser, many of us many people have taken him to level 8 as their first because he is peaking at the right time, and it seems like he's getting a lot of meta help. He already has, of his 20 tracks, he already has 7 exclusives, which is phenomenal, and they're all new tracks. These are tracks that don't have a lot of options on them, super options, normal options, etc. Goku for freerunning, probably the sneakiest on this list. He has 7 of his 21 exclusive. I know we've mentioned it many, many times on the rundown, but I keep hearing people dog it because of his size, which is totally fine. But that's 7 exclusive tracks. It doesn't matter about his size when he's the only Coinboxer there. Just keep that in the back of your mind. You have Kamek with 6, Dry Bones Gold with 6, and then Bowser Santa with 6. So really, really good for them. Obviously, Kamek already at 30 tracks, which is crazy because Dry Bone Gold been out much longer, has 6 less. So just keep that in the back of your mind. Kamek's a great one to think about for level 8 in general. And then I put here at the very bottom I kind of put them on 2 different sides, the best and the rest. The gold Mii Racing suit already of his 10 tracks already has 4 exclusive tracks with no other Coinboxer on them. Now, nothing we can really do with that information right now, but just know that this guy is going to be beast. Once we get this suit, I believe it's going to be the best Coinboxer in the game. It could be at 9. Who knows what it'll be at? I'm sure we'll maybe even get a Coinboxer before we actually get access to this suit. But man, I can't say enough about this gold Mii suit. I think Nintendo is putting it in specifically for us to just salivate for 10 weeks and just knowing it's there. And I think at this point in time, that's going to be a major point in the game when people start getting access to him. So start saving your tickets now. And then when we're talking about the rest, Pink Old Peach, I think her being in a pack this tour, a lot of people are thinking about maxing her out. Just know of her 18 tracks, which is not very many. Just when you're looking at it, it's as many as Mario Hakama. 18 is not very much, but she's got great tracks. Don't get me wrong. Pink Old Peach is a former queen of, I believe it was 2020, if you can believe that was 2 years ago. But she was great, and she still is still solid to invest in. Just know that maybe pull back on taking her to level 8 right away. You will pull her 100 million times in the next year. I can guarantee it. She's just she always is in tier shops. She's always in gold pass rewards. It just seems like she's and other special pipes. She just there's so many different ways we've gotten her over the last couple years, but she has 5 of 18. Just maybe hold off. That would be my recommendation. Peach Vacation, King Babam Gold, and Mario Hakama. All 5 of those have 5. I'm sorry, all 4 of those have 5. Then we're at the very bottom. King Babam Gold surprisingly only has 4. Rosalina Swimwear only has 4. Both of these guys have had a lot of overlap with other drivers. You remember Rosalina Swimwear? We were all dogging her because she kind of came out and she just had a lot of Pink Gold Peach stuff, a lot of Peach Vacation stuff. But she is the larger hitbox, so she would usually win out those ties. So keep that at the back of your mind. And then poor Pauline Party Time, 1 of 21, 1 exclusive track. To win the quiz of the day, Ben, do you know what that 1 track is?
DK Pass R.
There you go. I think we actually saw that track just maybe last tour or the tour before. So
pretty recently.
I think saw some people investing there. All right. Anything you want to mention about that, Ben?
I think there was going to be something, but it's gone now.
Coinboxer is still king, no matter how much you boost the other points, and it's always good to keep a good pulse on who's really doing well. All right. We have just broken an hour, and we haven't even talked about the week 1 pipe.
Oh my gosh.
We're going to try to be efficient while also getting through some major information. So we got week 1 pipe, 6 spotlights. We got some great items when you're thinking about the Black Dozer and these 2 new mustaches. But I think this is the sucker pipe. This is the I know you want to level things up. You're antsy. We get it. Here's Builder Mario and Builder Luigi. And if you like those items, that's cool. We'll kind of get into the new items here in a second. I love the Black Dozer. I'm a huge Black Dozer fan. It would be really helpful in ranked if you need a Kart here. But overall, what are your thoughts, Ben, on this week 1 pipe?
I would say the drivers are a little underwhelming. Like, they're not particularly valuable, at least in Tabor's rankings. According to that, Builder Mario is 66th, and Builder Luigi is 52nd. Builder Luigi does have 30 total courses, but only 3 of those are non-Coinbox at the moment, so that's where his value kind of tanks. So I guess if you don't have a lot of Coinboxes, Builder Luigi could be good for you. Then Builder Mario has 6 non-Coinbox courses in comparison. Black Dozer is probably the best thing in this pipe, for sure. It's been in the top 10 pretty consistently for most of 2021. Pretty solid hitbox, really good coverage. It was in ranked a lot for a while. The Clackety Kart is the other one. I would say that one is not very good at all. It's ranked 102nd right now.
Wow.
It's not very big, and it only has, I think, 18 non-cities.
Wow.
And the tracks it has, I guess there are some newer ones that it has, like RMX Ghost Valley 1T and Calamari 2RT. But for the most part, it doesn't have a lot of value. I think the Mario and Luigi's gliders could be decent. If I don't know if we're going to get to that slide with all the courses. Maybe I'll talk about it then.
Yep.
We'll get into that later then.
So you're going to pull on this pipe is what you're saying, Ben.
I don't have that many rubies, so I'm probably just going to hold on to stuff.
Probably a good idea. All right, so let's get into the meat of the Miis here. So we have all these different suits that have come out, many in different ways. I think we saw the DK suit was a lot of people's favorite. We got right off the bat the red Mii racing suit, right? And then get access to the Peach and I believe the Mario. Is that correct? Or Toad?
Okay, so the Toad Mii racing suit is in the token shop.
Yep.
And then the Luigi Mii racing suit, I can't remember if there was a gold pass or just a default gift, but that is available in the gifts. And then Rosalina, the Rosalina Mii is
for ranked
reward.
Yep.
Apparently, she's only available for tier 50 and up. I've heard from people in like tier 49 say that, oh, she doesn't show up. And the other kicker is that you have to be in first to get this racing suit. So that may motivate more people to invest tickets to try to get it. I think you have a chance next week as well. And then the Mario Mii, the Peach, and the Donkey Kong, they are in the Mii racing shop or racing suit shop. I think that's what it's called. It's a new section of the, I guess, shop where you can buy these suits for rubies. Apparently, the first time you buy them, it costs 70 rubies. And if you're going to buy the other two duplicates, it's going to cost you 100 rubies. And then the bronze Mii racing suit is only available in the tier challenges card, which is something else that was newly added this tour, which we kind of talked briefly about earlier. So basically, tier challenges involve stuff with ranked. You gotta win a ranked cup, and race in a ranked cup, or race in a ranked cup 100 times. Yeah, that was a mouthful.
Yeah,
skipping over my words.
Yeah. There's a lot of suits, and there's some unique ways to get them. I think that one of the biggest kind of shifts there were, being able to get these suits using rubies. And, I think they gave us the discount of 30 rubies off as kind of like a way to help us think, oh, wow, we're getting a deal. Now, I think Kevin specifically made a good point. That's like, 100 rubies is essentially worth like $44, in American, when you think about how much a ruby is, cost getting a pack. So it's like, is this worth, at the 100 price, is this worth, $44? And to be honest with you, probably not. So I think, in many cases, what's great about the base points is you just have to have one. So, there's many cases where you might be tempted to just get one. Do I see these returning in other ways? Absolutely. Right away, maybe not. We don't really know. We know that the two other Miis coming out in the near future. There are going to be many, many waves, all the way up to potentially 24. So I think Miis are going to be a big part of 2022. I think from this perspective, if you really like, I think Giant Bananas is one of these that really sticks out as a one that could be a lot of fun. I think when we're looking for new ways to enjoy the game, that could be a really, really fun way to do it. So, 70 rubies might be well worth the investment to grab there. Other than that, I really don't think you need to get all of them. It's one of those things where you got your Miis. All these Miis, they get a track unlocked at level 3, a level 6, and a level 8, but only one for level 3 and one for level 6. Versus other drivers that have had 2. Now, one of the questions I've heard, I haven't even really heard it debated, but I'm wondering, will they release a second level 3 or a second level 6, but like later when there are more tracks, just so that there aren't a crazy amount of tracks being revealed. I personally could see that. We've never had Miis. We never had this situation come out before. I think the B-Dasher Mark II pipe that came out for the anniversary is probably the closest thing similar to this, but we haven't even seen them coming back. So I don't know. We've hit unprecedented times. My personal hunch is that they'll maybe give them a second level 3 or a second level 6 track at some point in time. Maybe when there's a second wave of another 10 that come out like in the summer or something like that. I could see them doing that. So just don't. In my opinion, don't be so closed-minded to think that they're only getting 3 unlocked tracks. Who knows? Like, these are unlocked tracks. Like, what if they give them, 30 tracks on top of everything here. We don't know, right? So I think that's a big part of it too, is that like, hey, these are unlocked tracks. Like Nintendo can give them as many tracks as they want. And it's really up to them on how they want to strike the meta. I think if we look at anything like the Mark II pipe, is those items were they're okay, but like for me, I pulled that pipe more than I pulled any other pipe last year, and I still only got some of these carts to like level 3 or level 4. And to me, I was like, oh, this is awesome. I'm just gonna like level these up and I'll be set. And I still like I'm still struggling to get them leveled up because we just have so many carts, and there's so many of them that came out. So from that standpoint, are the Miis the best thing that's ever happened to this game? It depends on your preference on Miis. So they changed the meta so much that we don't know what's going on anymore? No. That part I'll give you an absolute no. You can still play this game without getting these Miis, but just know that these Miis, if you collect them all in some kind of like crazy, McDonald's toy buying situation, like where you're compulsively like wanting to keep getting everything. If you're a collector, you're going to feel like you need everything. But I think for most of the players, I don't think you need really any of these except for, just whatever the max is later on. You can worry about that. But just maybe get a DK suit, collect whatever that you can win or whatever. If you need to your point, I think you mentioned that the Rosalina suit, it's going to be kind of tough because everyone's getting these 15 tickets. 5 drivers, 5 carts, 5 gliders. There's desperation in the air. People are going to be going hard, and almost to me, it's like right now everyone's taking Meowser to level 8. So everyone's taking these items, maxing it out. Silver King, Vampire Flyer. People are going crazy to in desperation to get her. Part of me wonders like if it's a good time to kind of zig while everyone else is zagging and just think about things. And I've seen some people say, I'm gonna like totally lose in ranked this week, and the next week I'll get maybe a better ranking and I'll try to get it then. I don't know, man. It to me it just seems like I'm holding off putting tickets in Bowser Santa because I know that like the temptation is to throw all the tickets on him and take him to level 8, but I also know I'm probably not going to see Merry Mountain for another 9 months. And like for me, it's like I'd rather use those tickets. To me, those driver tickets are just so precious. I'm going to try to use them elsewhere, and I think it's kind of a trap. And like, hey, every Nintendo wants us to put tickets on everything this week, and what if everyone does it that way? Then there's kind of a situation there where Nintendo decides to buff other things, and we're all kind of left with our investments hanging. So that's my perspective. I try to kind of hit on everything, but I know I'm missing stuff with these Miis. Ben, I'll let you jump in. What are your thoughts on these Miis? Are these must gets?
I would say it's probably not necessary to get all of them. I mean, I guess unless you need a top shelf for ranked, because some of these do get featured on like Cheap Island, which is one of the assumed courses we're going to be racing on next week. I think maybe not Rosalina. I forget which one, but one of them has Cheap Island. Something else to note. Just for
the Toad, I think the Toad has the R version.
Okay, yeah, I can kind of see that from here. The point I was going to make was for this tour, the Miis all get a spotlight boost on the first course of every cup. So that makes it so on Mushroom Gorge in the first rank cup, since it's a cup boost and that spotlight boost, all of the Mii suits are available to be raced on the course if you have access to them. It's going to be something else. I guess we kind of touched upon the base point thing with the Miis. Basically, depending on how many unique Mii suits you own, you will get an extra 10 bonus points for each amount of suits more than the original one. So if you have like, let's say you have five Miis suits. If you raise it all the way to 800 and you have 5 of those suits, you'll actually be raising it all the way to 840. So like the cap is increased, but you're not actually using a point cap. It's a little interesting. But I could see that having bigger implications going down the line, especially with level 8. I'm sure if the limit turns out to be like an extra 100 points to the max, you could theoretically have a base level 8 at 1,500 base points, which would give you a relatively significant amount of points ahead of a normal triple cap level 8. So that's something to consider, but it's gonna. There's still so much we don't really know about these Miis.
Yeah, I'm with you there. I think that there's right now just 4 skills that you would feel like you would even want to use that situation on. We might see a triple bananas, in a future wave or something like that. But as of right now, like I think the Coinbox suits, the gold suit, I mean, having that at 1,500 or whatever would be really, really, really useful. But again, we'll kind of cross that bridge when we get there. To have like the bronze suit at 1,500 might be something that you have in 2023. But like it's such a far because collecting these suits and then you having to get all these level tickets, and then we talked about it, like 22 tickets to take it to level 7 or to level 8. It's just going to take a long time. But I do think that these could be a shift in the game. The Miis have grown on me. I'll be honest with you. At first, I was not a Mii generation guy, so I was like, something that looks kind of like me is kind of weird. I don't know. Just I never really got into it during, like even in Smash Brothers when they had it. You could be a Mii, you could be like the Mii warrior or whatever it was. Never really got into it, but. I've been driving with it, and it's been actually kind of fun. The question is about the token shop and how we get tokens here. It's quite a grind because you're not really using the Miis very often right now. They're not more powerful. So for all cup ranking and stuff, I actually have to I'm doing with player level. I'm trying to do whatever I possibly can to get those tokens. And trying to get those base points while doing it. So that's been what I've been doing. What I'm curious about is in future tours, if we're going to have the token shop set up this way, and we're going to have to keep using these Miis to get the tokens. I really hope not. But I can see that totally happening too. So those are kind of some final points. Anything you want to add there?
I'm thinking the using the Miis to get tokens is just going to be this tour because we introduced Miis. We got to kind of force you to use these. Get used to using them if you want all the rewards. It's interesting that like the tokens are. It's almost set up like a team rally, like Miis versus non-Miis.
Yeah.
Like apparently the tokens will keep counting even if you finish the shop. So that also further reminds me of a versus tour.
Yeah. We're not really too worried about a coin box and like losing the red coins for the tokens, thankfully right now. But the one thing I know about Nintendo is when they want you to do something, they shove it down your throat until you're absolutely sick and tired of it. So I'm guessing we're probably going to get more of these token experiences. I just think about like multiplayer. Like they when they are trying hard, they are trying so desperately hard to get us to do stuff. That's my opinion. So I would say that this is probably not the last time we're going to see a token shop with Miis. But I do think there's one last thing we want to talk about Miis, and that's the gold Mii racing suit. One, to kind of give you some perspective on how good or bad he could be for us one day, roughly 10 weeks from now. Just kind of looking at the tracks. Remix Rainbow Road, 1RT. You got Bowser Santa, Saddle of You, and Happy all on that track. Obviously, only one other Coinboxer, but still that is a Coinbox overlap track, and it is a Coinboxer with a bigger hitbox. Choco Island 1RT, you have no other Coinbox, so this is a Coinbox exclusive track. However, there are 3 top skills. You have Holodaisy, You have the DK suit with Giant Banana, and then Shy Guy Ninja. As for Bowser's Castle, you have a lot of options. You got two other Coinboxers, Kamek and Bowser, Meowser. And then you have two of the Boomerang drivers, Luigi Vacation and Kangaroo Yoshi. And then you have the DK suit with the Giant Banana, which you're going to hear many, many times on this slide. Bowser's Castle R, you have kind of a similar situation. Two Coinboxers, Lucky 7, a Boomerang, and looks like, I'm not sure what this, the Bronze suit and the DK suit. So there you go. Definitely a lot of options. Probably the most by far there. Waluigi Pinball R, you may not be worried about this track in general anyway, but I think for having it, mainly because many of us already have Hakama, and it's a track that's relatively easy to get 200 actions on, but you have a lot of other options between DK, a super that you most likely probably already have at 7, maybe even 8 already. You have Lakitu Party Time and Painter with both level 7, and then Luigi Vacation with Boomerang, and we already mentioned Hakama. Cheap Cheap Island T, you have Happy, and you have Vacation. So you notice there are a lot of Luigi Vacation here. You also have Nabbit and Kangaroo Yoshi for Cheap Cheap Island. So no Coinboxer there. That is an exclusive track for the Gold Me. And then you have Mushroom Gorge T, which many of you have already noticed is on Ranked next week with Charging Chuck. That will be a Coinbox track, an exclusive track for Gold Me. So I think a lot of people have been hesitating to invest in Charging Chuck because of it. But again, you got 10 weeks here. Charging Chuck is still a decent, just because of his skill, a decent driver. But one I wish he would have had better coverage. It does seem like he's getting a lot of Coinbox tracks here lately. When you're talking about the level 3 unlock, you have Bowser Santa at level 3 with Vanilla Lake 2T. And then you have the Silver Suit that's Lucky 7. Silver Suit again on Mushroom Gorge at unlocked to level 6. And then you have, which is an exclusive. And then level 8, you have Remix Ghost Valley 1T, which has two other Coinboxers, both Meowser and Dry Bones Gold. And then a Lucky 7 and a Boomerang with a total of, looks like 4 overlaps with Luigi Vacation. So definitely a lot of overlap there to note there for him. But Ben, what would you like to add about the Gold Me suit?
Well, I just wanted to point out that some of the drivers with plus skills that are shown here, some of these tracks are actually level 8 unlocks. So, for example, Choco Island 1RT, Ninja Shy Guy gets that at level 8. For Bowser's Castle, Kamek, I think, gets that at level 8. He doesn't already have that. For Bowser's Castle R, I believe King Bob on Gold, the level 8 unlock. I don't think there's any on Waluigi Pinball. Cheap Cheap Island T, Nabbit has that as a level 8 unlock. And Ghost Valley 1, or RMX Ghost Valley 1T, Dry Bones Gold. That's a level 8 unlock. So you might not have some of those
That's a really good point.
as options. So,
yeah. By the time we get this Gold Me suit, who knows what we have at level 8 by that time. But that was really, really good point. Definitely something to keep in the back of your mind. Finally, after looking past the Miis, we actually do have some new items this tour. We have the yellow 8-bit pipe frame that came in the DK pack. We have Mario's mustache and Luigi's mustache, both in the week 1 pipe. One thing I wanted to mention is Luigi's mustache actually shares 70% overlap with the Gold Me suit. So if you already believe that Gold Me will one day be the best Coinboxer in the game, maybe an early investment that you might not be afraid to make is Luigi's mustache, if you like being able to pair those two. I myself am not a big pairer. I don't necessarily think about things that way, but it is good to kind of keep that in the back of your mind. Both of these mustaches getting a little bit of cheap action, getting some Calamari Desert action, getting some Sky Garden, some Mushroom Gorge. It's they're very similar to one another, but very different in that they're not getting the same exact tracks, but getting different variations of the same, kind of set that are part of this tour. So there you go. Ben, what are your thoughts on these 3 new items?
Well, I was gonna talk briefly about both of the mustaches. Like the level 1 tracks they have, they're all pretty new except for Waluigi Pinball. So that to me sounds promising. Like they might continue to get more new tracks, but I think it might just have to do with the course makeup of this tour, since there's a lot of just newer courses in general.
Mm-hmm.
Like Mario's mustache has all 3 Sky Gardens if you take it to 6. So if you didn't have a glider, it could be something maybe worth going for if you have plenty of rubies to spare. The yellow 8-bit pipe frame. I'm not quite sure what to think of this at the moment, but I'm sure that going down the line, since it's in a 40-pack, it's going to get pretty significant paywall buffs.
I will say the hitbox is teeny tiny. It is rough. I mean, I don't mind the way it drives because it's kind of, I don't know, you get some traction, it's kind of low and whatnot, but the size of it is just, it's so teeny tiny. Now, I will say I've always kind of had the belief that if something in a family has not been strong before and a new one comes out, it has the potential to be the most powerful of the family. So who knows, maybe it could get some really good buffs. Best case scenario, you're looking at it being like a black Turbo Birdo or something where it's like really, really strong, but just such a tiny hitbox, you end up using stuff different stuff instead of it. Just kind of keep that in the back of your mind. I think your point on the Sky Gardens, those are some tough tracks to get gliders on for Mario's mustache. That's a really good point and maybe worth investing in. And then Luigi's mustache, we kind of talked about that, sharing the overlap too. So, I'm a little bit more bullish on these Mario mustache. I think the Wario and Waluigi have been kind of strong already. So I don't know. Maybe these are like the 4 gliders of the year that you really want. I don't know. I just know that it's to me like the week 1 pipe just looks so not tempting. I really hope that when I pull on week 2, I can somehow get those gliders, because I am not going into that week 1 pipe. That looks tough. All right, moving forward, just based on time, the non-spotlight drivers, no big changes here. Obviously, you get next week's spotlight as a potential, but the karts, some big changes here. The Gray Cat Cruiser, a relatively newer kart, is added. The Pink Dozer, a really strong meta level, just because it's Jump Boost Plus and only has trick tracks. And then the Dreamy Egg, which has never been in a pipe before, not only is in a pipe, but also permanent in the pipe too. So interesting there. And I think also Shy Guy Kart mentioned this in his video about that data mining with this the Birdo and Yoshi tour coming up potentially. Is we've seen some buffs with Dreamy Egg and with eggs and Purple Bunny got a nice little buff last tour. I think Nintendo's kind of doing this where they're like kind of buffing things right before they put it in packs and put it in pipes and stuff. So I don't know. Yeah. It's worth. I thought he made a good point. I wanted to circulate that as well. Anything to add about that, Ben? About these 3 new items?
Yeah, I mean, you already kind of commented, but I was a little surprised that the Gray Cat Cruiser was added so quickly. Like it's only been like 2 or 3 tours since it was released. And it is interesting to see the Dreamy Egg also pop into a pipe, or a permanent pipe. It was only like pack exclusive, and I think only in 40 packs. I could be wrong on that, but
yeah, that's what Tabor said too. He confirmed it.
Yeah, so that's an interesting addition. There was something else too. What was I going to say?
Yeah, man.
I can't remember what it was, but
it's okay. We're already way over our time.
We're already.
I don't know what we're gonna finish out with time, but my guess is 2.5 hours. So, for gliders, we do have the Butterfly Prism added, so that's a nice little glider there. Be nice and fun to pull. Then we have the week 2 pipe, which I think just to kind of keep it nice and short and concise, Peach Explorer has been really, really useful for the Sky Gardens. She already had a lot of coverage before that. A top 10 driver, you're well aware of her. Toadette Explorer, she's she's fine. But I think the biggest thing here are the carts. Yellow off-roader, Cactar. These are paywalled, very large hitbox carts. Ones that you want, ones that you want to invest in. I know myself, I might go into this pipe just to try to see how many yellow off-roaders I get because I'm short on tickets. I know, it's not, but like I love everything else in this pipe. Even this Candlelight Flight would do a lot for my account. I think I have it at level 1. I think I got that pack once, but man, I wouldn't. I mean, for a time like this where I'm trying to kind of get level, I'm not afraid of getting things to level 8. I don't mind pulling on something like this, but I think Peach Explorer getting her up a little bit and these two carts. I think this is a great pipe to go into if you're just looking to kind of level some, start to head off on that journey of level 8. But Ben, what do you think about this pipe? Will you be pulling?
I'm not quite sure if I want to pull on this. Like, the yellow off-roader is probably the most tempting thing for me. I haven't gotten it yet. Apparently, even factoring in its size, it would give me, like, I don't know, 13 courses at level 6. There's risk of going to 100 with only, like, 100 rubies. So, it's interesting to see that there are 3 previously pack-locked items in this pipe, the Candlelight Flight included. So that could be a reason to pull if you thought any of these items were really good for your account. I don't know. Toda Explorer, if you have been playing for the past year, you might have noticed she was getting a lot of paywall tracks. But I think at this point, a lot of those are being taken over by plus skills, especially stuff like DK Summit or the Teleview getting that. So, I don't know. There's some good things in this pipe that could be worth pulling for.
Yeah, I mean, it's the carts though. The carts, man. You got targets on their back, man. The yellow off-roader to start off the tour, it was I think level 3,400. And by the end of the tour, I will have it at 700. So for me, it fills out the trifecta, and it's got so many great tracks. I mean, I honestly feel like the yellow off-roader might have already taken the baton from Silver King as the top card of the year. Now, obviously, Cactar is right there on our top 10, and a great card as well. So both of them are like really top of the caliber when it comes to getting cards. So worth putting it out there. I will say the majority of my rubies will be going to this helmeted Mario pipe. So what we know about it is that there are no spotlights, and the odds will be 3, 3, and 0, meaning that there will be 3 drivers, 3 high-end drivers, 3 high-end carts of any assortment. It could be any of these 4 drivers for these 3 spots. So that's really exciting to have 6 high ends in a 50 pipe, and half of them being drivers. Anytime you have drivers in a pipe, that's just a little bit stronger of a pipe in general. Nintendo kind of tries to treats that like a really, really glorified pipe. So, and then you got 2 lucky 7 drivers in here, man. Ben, tell me what you think about this pipe.
I think for me, I'm gonna pass. I don't know. Mario Racing has a ton of Coinbox overlap. I managed to pull him a couple times in the anniversary tour. Haven't used him ever. Mario Baseball, he's actually got a lot of courses, but again, I think he also suffers from like Coinbox overlap. Satellaview is obviously really solid. He's got, I think, almost the most non-Coinbox tracks of any driver, almost.
He's a beast.
At least for Lucky 7, he has the most non-Coinbox. So that could be a reason to pull, but again, you're not guaranteed anything. I think for my account, Mario Halloween would be kind of underwhelming. Partially Coinbox overlap, and otherwise having better stuff on his tracks. Lunar, I'm going to jump to the carts. B Dash and Mark II's large hitbox got solid coverage. I don't know if it's in ranked at all this tour, but I think it got Mushroom Gorge R as buff. Pumpkin Kart, I guess if you want. It's super tiny, but it is on Mushroom Gorge N, if I remember correctly. Lunar Cruiser, pretty wide hitbox. I don't like its coverage too much, personally, but that's just my inventory. Could be useful. Pinch Hitter has a surprising amount of tracks. I think it has like over 30, but
wow.
like I would say 40% of them are cities. And I think Pinch Hitter was one of the only old items, old as in not introduced this tour. So it's one of the only old items whose level 8 course is Mushroom Gorge, or one of the Mushroom Gorge courses.
Okay.
I think it's Mushroom Gorge T. But
good.
Yeah.
Good, man. To be honest with you, I'm just excited to pull on a special pipe where I don't have anything at like the max level. Like to know that I can pull and like not worry about that. To me, as a whale, is actually really exciting because I haven't seen a pipe that haven't had something at level 7 in such a long time. So, at the max level, which is now 8. So for me, I'm really excited about doing this. I will come out with a video on Sunday. Pulling this pipe. I'm pretty pumped about it. I mean, I just think that the odds are just really good. And I think if I can get Saddle of You up, anywhere close to 8, I will walk away feeling very happy. Plus, I'll get some normals and supers just starting to get to where I need them to be. But it'll be a lot of fun. So I mentioned a little bit on the packs. I just kept it pretty simple with the studs versus duds. Typically, I like to kind of divide them in half, and what two packs that are studs, 2 packs that are duds. This one was pretty straightforward. We got this cat toad. I don't think I need to explain to you. There's not a lot of value there. I'm not a big fan of him or really any of the cats except for Meowser. But I think one that could potentially get some flack is the DK Junior SNES and this pipe frame that I just mentioned. But I think he has been absolutely clutch this year so far. The triple bananas is not a bad skill. It's it's certainly above average. I don't know if it's top of the top, but it's certainly a great skill to have. I think regardless of what skill he has, he's been just such a monster in ranked. He's been very useful. I know a lot of DK fans out there have invested in him. And they've been, walking it out of the bank with so many ranked wins and rubies, etc. I am really excited about that part. Now, the cart, we talked about the size, not great, but there's always that hint that it could get kind of get the best of the family type of treatment that the other pipe frame didn't. So I feel good about this. I think someone could argue and say, really a triple banana and a really small hitbox. You calling that a stud? I would say out of everything that I do, the most criticism comes from this slide. So I'm already bracing myself for that coming. As for week 2, and then finally the elephant in the room, this Black Rate sale, which certainly one of the best items in the game, great for coverage, but it's the only thing in this 90 pack. So it is very expensive for what you're getting. However, it's the best glider in the game. So I just kind of put stud item, dud value. I think that many whales have gotten it. I know I got it 3 times, so I'm not afraid to say that. I took the rest of it all the way to 7, and I'm fine with it. I feel really good that I was able to save some glider tickets. It's not a move that I would recommend to really anyone outside of a whale, but I'm okay with whaling this tour, getting a nice little comfortable start on the tour and having some rubies to pull into these pipes, these fun pipes. So I'm not going to give myself a hard time. Now I'll have to return back to that 7 or 8 level on that whale scale and here soon. But right now I'm enjoying the game, and this is a kind of a fun way to be able to enjoy it. Then when we move into week 2 packs, we got BGP. I think she's a stud just in the main fact that no one has her at level 8 yet. And she's a Coinboxer, and those 5 Coinbox tracks that she has that are exclusive are going to be useful to have. And so, you may not need her this tour, but I'm sure there's a tour down the line where it'd be nice to have her at a higher level. I know from talking with some of the smaller whales, and I'm like, hey, they're like, I need to get some pack. I need to get at least one pack to get this DK suit or to get something. And they're like, but I'm gonna wait till next week. I'm gonna wait to get this PGP pack because that's the pack that I really want to get, which I completely understand. Now for me, this Snow Crystals pack is a hard pass. I'm pretty adamant that this is a dud. For me, I have the Snow Crystals at 7,595, and I rarely ever use it. And to me, like if I have something at 7,595, I'm gonna want to use it 3 or 4 times a tour for all cup ranking, and I use it maybe once. So for me, I know the Snow Crystals are a fan favorite for some, and I think that if you are trying to have fun with the game, go for it. But I think that the people who are trying to have fun maybe aren't spending for on these 90 packs. So just kind of keep that in the back of your mind. The Penguin Toad, he's okay. He's not got a great skill. So there's nothing really here that drives. And I think we even saw the Snow Crystals in a pack not long ago. So I think those that I've heard are investing in it. Really like the look of it, and it really helps out their account. But for me, when I look at it, I have to give it a dud in my opinion. So if you like the item, feel free to go for it. Premium challenge, you can do worse. Nabbit, he's had his value squished and squashed every little way, but he's still lucky 7, and he is a fun guy to have. And I think overall, not a bad way to get some rubies and some tickets. But really, your appetite for getting the premium challenge, you don't need my advice for it either. And then for the week 2 tier shop, these are 3 items. They're okay. I would just, I think coins are so valuable right now, especially to your point, Ben. And maybe looking at the tier tickets, I would much rather spend a little bit more and get those tier tickets and invest in something that you really, really want versus, the Butterfly Prism or the Bruiser or Dixie Kong. So, Ben, lot to cover there. I know you mentioned you occasionally get a pack, but what are your thoughts on these packs, and are you getting any?
I think probably the PGP pack is the most tempting, but I think I'm probably going to try staying on the non-pack path for a while. I've been getting the premium challenges still, and I have been getting the premium plus as well, which is also available this tour, which we did not mention. In terms of tier shop, I think I might just get Dixie Kong because I plan on leveling her up for a few courses, and it'll be cheaper than buying a tier shop ticket. But that's just because Dixie Kong helps my account, even though I'm not actually going to use her in ranked on the Calamari Desert.
Okay. Hey, yeah, it's your coins, man. Do whatever you need with them, for sure. Anything else? Is that...
I mean, you could potentially argue that Cat Toad is a little more valuable, but I think it was interesting that he got Mushroom Gorge T for next week, and then also got Mushroom Gorge N as a level 8 unlock. So I think that could be a selling point for some people who I know a couple who have them at level 7 already. So
wow.
Yeah. I don't know. DK pack sounds pretty good too, because DK has been pretty solid. It's unfortunate that the Black Rate sales in that 40 pack, or the $40 pack,
yeah,
90 pack.
But I mean, I think out of all those items, that's the item I want the most. I know it's going to come at a premium though, so yeah, it's one of those that you gotta kind of have to. If you want to bite the bullet, you can. But yeah, I mean, overall, I think at this point in time, everything looks a little bit better this tour than it did last tour. Just coming out of level 7 into level 8. All right, now getting into the buffs. Thankfully, maybe not thankfully, but most of the buffs we've already covered with all these Miis suits and everything going on there. I will say, from talking with Tabor, he made a really, really good point. he had mentioned when it came to those buffs, and specifically the top shelf. He mentioned that for each driver kart glider, he tracks the number of items used at each level for ranked courses during the tour. For the Mii Tour, we had a number of records broken, which shows more items were available to use during ranked courses compared to previous tours. So, drivers alone, level 1, 71 total drivers used.
Wow.
Yeah. Most ever. The second place was the Toad versus Toadette tour with 51. So, a lot of drivers at level 1. For Karts, Karts 57, which is 57. And then he mentions level 3, level 6, and level 8 too. So I'm sorry. Yeah, so I apologize. Let me take that back. So for drivers, just level 1 items, 71 top shelf. So most ever, second place. And then there are 4 that were unlocked at level 3, 5 that were unlocked at level 6, 6 that were unlocked at level 8. So a total of 86, most ever. Second place was DK versus Bowser with 65. So massive there. For Karts, level 1, 57 options. Then 5 at level 3, and then 8 at level 6, and then an additional 8 at level 8. So a total of 78, most ever. By far, second place was DK versus Bowser at 77. Glider, I guess there's only a difference of 1, but still by far the most. Actually, need to stop saying by far. It is the most, but not by far. Gliders at level 1, 56, most ever. Second place was the Space Tour at 55. Plus 2 at level 3, plus 6 at level 6, and plus 8 at level 8. So a total of 72, most ever. Closest was the Space Tour with 65. So the reason I say that is that I think it's really, really helpful to know that there are a lot of top shelf options, probably because of these Miis, especially in ranked. But you'll notice that the rest of these buff slides are not quite as glamorous because all these new items, you think about it, regardless of whether they're Miis or not, they're this is the tour with the most new items of any other tour. We had 10 plus 3 if you think about it that way. So 13 brand new items to buff. So when it comes to existing items and who got buffed, Charging Chuck and Mario Aviator got the most buffs, both with 4. Now, Charging Chuck obviously got the 3 cities from the LA tour. So he's got a total of 14 non-city tracks, 3 cities there. When you look at his tracks, though, I wouldn't say great. You got the Mushroom Gorge R and T, which are nice, but the Airship Fortress RT already pretty covered there when it comes to Coinboxers, and then you got the Bowser's Castle T with a Coinbox there too. So Charging Chuck, unfortunately, not great necessarily in the buffs he's got, but I think this tour has a lot of Coinboxers in general, so you can't get too mad. He's got to get the buffs, and thankfully this tour, a lot of those tracks are relatively new. Between outside of Airship Fortress, so Charging Chuck's okay. It's just you'd like to see a little bit better buffs there. Whereas Mario Aviator has 0 cities, already up to 13 non-city tracks. Pretty good coverage there. Again, not a great skill, so it's not maybe one that I think everyone started saving tickets like that tour too. So you probably don't have him at a high level, but it does seem like he's getting some nice little buffs here. Cheap Cheap Island 1 RT, Vanilla Lake 2T, Calamari Desert 2, and Cheap Cheap Island. So those are the 2 biggest buffs. No one got buffed 3 times, but Meowser, the Rich Get Richer, he got 2 new tracks. Waluigi Pinball and Mushroom Gorge R. Mushroom Gorge R obviously being a massive track for him. Waluigi Pinball, not quite as interesting for him. But you gotta love that the Mushroom Gorge track there. So he's got 18 non-city tracks, 2 cities already. He is number 7 on our list. It is, I think we are maybe 1 or 2 tours away from him being the number 1 driver in the game I think it's just a matter of time. He's peaking at the right moment. If you have to take something to level 8, let Meowser be at the top of your list. He is crushing it right now. On the flip side, Catalina, not getting quite the buffs that she wants. Mushroom Gorge R and T, 19 non-city tracks though, and 1 city. I know I saw a couple different Discord servers, people dogging her for her kind of buffs, but it is what it is. It's it's a new item with a not great skill. Unfortunately, you have an uphill battle as it is. And then we'll kind of just based on time skim through some of these. I will say DK Junior SNES has 24 non-city tracks, 14 cities. So a lot of cities, but also a lot of non-cities. That's just so many tracks, 38 tracks total. Number 14 on our list. He was higher on our list, but has fallen. Solid driver, though. Solid driver, especially in ranked. If you look at it that way, Luigi Vacation got a nice little buff there. Unfortunately, it's Waluigi Pinball R. Waluigi Vampire did get a buff. Mushroom Gorge, which is nice for him. That's really a perfect track for him when you think about what do you want someone to get. That Mushroom Gorge track is the track you want to get. And then, unfortunately, DK Junior SNES got it too, and he's just been getting some really, really good buffs for ranked. Everything else will kind of just skim over. We got 3 supers here with Light Blue, Toad, Pit Crew leading the pack with total of 12 non-city tracks, 1 city. Unfortunately, it's the Airship Fortress RT. Really, none of these 3 are really that enticing when you think about the buffs themselves. So, Ben, anything you want to say about who got buffed for the drivers?
I think I was going to talk about Charging Check, but I think you covered it mostly. 3 of those courses are Coinbox courses. I think 2 of those are actually Meowser courses. Mushroom Gorge R and Bowser Castle T are as a level 6 course for Meowser. Meowser's Waluigi Pinball buff is actually kind of interesting because he shares that with Mario Hokama and Party Time Pauline, but those tend to be lesser used, I would say. So that could be solid buff for him. It is interesting that KnightRoso is actually getting newer buffs now, for new courses, but it is getting a little overshadowed by all the plus skills that also get buffed in those courses. I was surprised to see 34 courses for Mario Baseball, 20 non-cities, 14 cities. That's kind of insane, more than I thought.
14 cities is a lot of cities, though.
Yeah, that is true. But so does DK Junior also has 14 cities.
True. Yeah.
The other thing about Mushroom Gorge is I think that there are only 3 or 4 drivers that actually have it by default. Because as I mentioned earlier, a lot of the drivers that appear on it are because of the Miis suits, which get double boosted. So even if it doesn't have a second shelf, it'll be top shelf there. I think that's it for drivers for me.
Okay. Yeah, we'll have to see how it all turns out. But my guess is DK Junior SNES is going to get another ranked buff here in the next month or so. It just seems to be how it is. But for the carts, we have this Star Broom, the only cart with 3 buffs. It's up to 11 non-city tracks, 0 cities. You look out like that. Then for the carts, it got 2 buffs. Cactar being a really, really popular one. I'm seeing people take that one to a high level, only behind the Combo Cruiser. People love the Combo Cruiser, and rightfully so. It's a great cart. It seems to be kind of like this. I've talked about the cart trifecta. From I think the meta cart trifecta. I think the Combo Cruiser, if you want kind of a light version, it covers a lot of those tracks, not all of them, but it's a really, really good way to go. It's a great size hitbox. It's got some Coinboxers to go with it too, so really solid cart there. The Cupid's Arrow got 2 tracks as well. Really those last 2, both of these kind of having just a couple cities, but that's just because of the tour that they were released in. But total of 12 tracks. Then you got the Gray Cat Cruiser, as we talked about, being a part of the 100 pipe, up to 17 on-city tracks, 2 cities. Green Lightning there, Jukebox Buggy, the other New Zealand Broom, the Magna Broom, and then the Prop Cart, up surprisingly up to 12 non-city tracks to 0 cities, and then the Wild Slugger, 11 non-city tracks, 4 cities there. And then for the carts that got 1 buff, I'll just notice that the Black Dozer got a really, really good buff. Broke the top 10 again, so it is nice to see it back. It's honestly one of my favorite carts in the game. It'll be one that after I get the trifecta, I'll slowly maybe think about taking to 8. It's I have it at 700. It's been a great cart. I've absolutely loved it. It pairs really well with the Silver Star Shoot, which is one that I took to 8 already, just mainly because I had one that I got in the tier shop. But for me, it's worked out really well in a number of tracks. I think Rosalina Ice Worlds and DK Passes, etc. Or not DK Passes, DK Summits. Yep. Nothing really too much to take note of. We got a couple buffs here. Maybe the Tiger Bruiser you want to point out. The one last one I'll mention is the Rombi Runner is on the Mushroom Gorge R. And man, I am so tempted to throw tickets on it. I'm like literally so tempted because the only one I have high enough is the Cactar. I think at level 3. But I think the hard part, man, is I have these super card tickets. I want to start focusing on my shop. But part of me is like, man, I'd rather just, especially considering the fact that I don't have a great cart there. It's a decent hitbox, and it looks pretty cool. Just in the fact that, it's got the brother, the Rombi Runner that's been so popular. I don't know. I'm still debating. I still don't know what I'm going to do, but I don't have to make a decision right now. But it's a cool cart. It's nice that they buffed the super. It just happened to be a bad time when we need all our super tickets. But Ben, what are your thoughts on the buffed carts?
Well, I just want to say Cactar's buffs are pretty nice. It got 2 of the Mushroom Gorges. I think it got R and T, so I'm probably going to be leveling that up myself. I have mine at level 5.
Wow.
Cupid's Arrow, I think, also got 2 of them, which is pretty nice, especially since it's so new. It's already getting a lot of paywall tracks, a lot of new tracks. So that's promising for anyone who managed to pull that or went in for that pipe. I'm going to agree that it's just so out of the blue that Rambi Rider got buffed. I don't think it's seen a buff for probably over a year. It's such a random cart.
It's been notorious. Yeah.
So I think that's all I wanted to really bring up.
The Cupid's Arrow, obviously it being a special pipe, we tend to, and it still seems to be the case, that those are almost always automatics for top 20. Maybe not quite top 10 just because we have so many carts, and like now that all these carts are starting to accumulate, it's harder to break that top 10, but I think any new item that's coming out of a special pipe is destined to be top 20. Cupid's Arrow seems to be getting the right buffs, and that seems on par with what a special new item would be getting. So I think the solid point there, Ben. And finally, for gliders. 3 gliders got 3 buffs. The record setter, a really big favorite. Talking about special items in a special pipe, that one seems to be very, very promising. The Sky High Flyer, both of those with 12 non-city tracks, 0 cities. And then the Wonderful Wings, just 1 less non-city, but so solid there with 0 cities and 11 non-city tracks there. Then you have 2 gliders that got 2 buffs. So you got the Luigi Parafoil and the Waluigi Mustache. Both of those pretty solid. I think you can't go wrong with either of those. Both newer gliders that have some unique coverage. I'm thinking, Wario Shipyard. I'm thinking some Sky Garden. Not bad to invest in there. And then a number of gliders get 1 buff, most notable being the 8-bit Super Mushroom, which I think when we saw Mushroom Gorge, we're like, oh, that one's going to get buffed. It's coming. And rightfully so. It is number 3 on our list. The other ones just to kind of take note of, a surprise to see the Candlelight Flight break our top 10. It's number 9 with 18 non-city tracks, 4 cities. And then Golden Wings, Rich Get Richer, 23 non-city tracks, 5 cities. Good there. I will say, Magic Parasol has seen some really good buffs here lately. Came in that special pipe, and it caught my notice and kept going. The one thing I'll notice is I saw a lot of people drawing attention to the meteor balloons this past week, specifically saying that it covers a lot of gaps in there. I mean, I've heard it from, it's a small sample size of maybe 3 different people, but it's one of those situations where it's getting a lot of traction from people who have pretty full coverage. It's not like, I'm not hearing it from people that haven't, necessarily run into that situation. So just kind of pointing that out there, and the rest is fine. Kind of talked a little bit about snow crystals. I was kind of hoping it would have more. I mean, 26 tracks is good, but like Golden Wings is absolutely crushing it. Galaxy Glider is I would have liked to see more from that too. But those are kind of the ones that stick out to me. But what do you think about these buff gliders, Ben?
Well, there's some interesting ones that got buffed. A lot of some older gliders, Glitter Glider. I think that was probably buffed for like Christmas or the winter time. But it gets another one, and so does Royal Parachute. I'm very happy that one got buffed on Mushroom Gorge. I've had that. I think that was my first level 6 glider. But
wow, okay.
It's come in very handy for me. It keeps getting random buffs here and there, and I'm, again, very thankful for that. It's interesting that the Galaxy Glider continues to just get, like, 1 course at a time every tour, it seems. Like, its growth seems so slow. It might just creep up on us, how good it might end up being. I don't know.
I hope you're right.
I might have to level it up soon. It's got Sky Garden R and I think Mushroom Gorge R, and both of those, it would be my best glider at level 1, so we'll see. I just noticed the New Year's 2022 got a buff, but I didn't catch where that was. But that's an interesting one. It was a commemorative. Don't know if I have anything else to add right now.
Okay. Well, we just broke 2 hours, so we'll skip around to the top 10 most valuable items. So we actually have some stuff to cover here. Tabor, I think rightfully so, has done some soul searching and tried to find out if the size of the driver matters, and came away believing that it does. Not as much as the rest of the weighted part of the score. We kind of stole 2% from each of the other categories to make up 10% of the algorithm. So meaning that the skill, the Coinbox overlap, the course coverage value, the weighted course value, and the ranked. Yep, sorry about that. Are all 18%. So it's just kind of good to keep that in the back of your mind. No other changes outside of that. I will say that we did have a contest for predicting the top 10. Edeedle and Nintengda were so close. 31 and 30 points, I believe, respectively. Nintengda ended up winning with 31, so he has an invitation to join us for Kart Talk. If you think that you know the top 10 well and you think you'd like to be able to be on Kart Talk, that might be the easiest way to do it. Like I said, after the anniversary, we really wanted to focus on bringing more value to the members. So excited to see Nintengda on Kart Talk in the near future. So be on the lookout for that. Well, let's jump into the top 10. We have Tanuki Rosalina and Waluigi Vampire both going up 1 spot to number 1 and number 2 respectively. Tanuki Rosalina, we knew this day was coming. I was surprised it came now, though, because Yoshi Kangaroo seemed to be so powerful. I did not think he was going to get knocked off quite yet, but he is down 2 spots to number 3. Then Peach Happy took a little turn. We weren't sure. She seemed to be kind of diving out of our top 10, but she's risen back up 4 spots to number 4. Then we saw King Bubblegum Gold make a massive jump up. He is up to number 5 on our list, up 8 spots. Peach Explorer up 1 spot. Meowser, by far the biggest jump, but to no one's surprise, up 9 spots to number 7. Kamek, unfortunately, took a little tumble there, down 3 spots to number 8. And then Bowser Santa, probably based on this Rainbow Road, up 11 spots to number 9. And then Mario Saddle of You holding down his number 10 spot. But as we alluded to, one of the strongest Lucky 7 drivers in the game. We have Builder Toadette at number 11, Penguin Mario at 12, Birdo Black at 13, Donkey Kong Jr. SNES at 14, and Mario Tuxedo at 15. So one of the things that you've probably noticed is that these a lot of these top 10 necessarily didn't get buffed, and so the ones that did really jumped up a lot. The one I'm kind of wondering about is Donkey Kong Jr. SNES. I'll have to get some insight from Antilev and Tabor, just because he isn't ranked, and it seems like that was a nice little buff there for him too. But I mean, everything else, saw a lot of big jumps and a couple little falls. But man, when you see King Bob-omb Gold go up 8 spots and Bowser Santa up 11, and then Meowser up 9, you have to feel like that has to be part of the driver's size.
Yes,
because those are some big drivers.
Yeah, I was gonna say, a lot of the drivers that jumped up were the larger drivers, especially the Coinbox ones. King Bob-omb Gold, Meowser, Bowser Santa, they're all large Coinbox drivers. And the way that the size is kind of factored into Tabor's algorithm right now is like, so if you're a large driver, you get like full 100 out of 100. If you're a medium driver, you're currently like given 50 out of 100. And if you're a small driver, you're given 0 out of 100. So it's kind of, even though it's only worth like 10% of the total ranking, it's really giving the large characters a significant boost. So I think otherwise, Yoshi, Tanuki, and Waluigi Vampire would probably still be beneath Yoshi Kangaroo, but I could be wrong about that specifically.
Well, you have to remember, Tanuki Rosalina is a large size hitbox.
Yes, exactly. I guess I didn't say that explicitly.
But sorry.
Yeah, Tanuki Rosalina and Waluigi Vampire are also large drivers, while Yoshi Kangaroo is medium. So I think that's kind of what's causing a lot of the shifts right now. I think Peach Happy also moved up a bit this tour, despite being middle size, I'm pretty sure. Yep. She's been ranked 3 times this tour, I think.
Wow, good for her.
RMX Rainbow Road 1RT, Ghost Valley, or RMX Ghost Valley 1T, and then she's on Cheap Cheap Island next week as well. So that's definitely pushing her up. Peach Explorer, I think probably just because she's also been ranked a bunch of times, probably on some of those same courses. So yeah, I think most of the shuffling is just because the size was implemented into the algorithm.
Yeah, good. Yeah, I believe that. I think you're right. That's probably why DK Junior SNES did not go up, and because of his size. Moving into the carts, Cactar was our number 1 last tour, and it is still our number 1 carts in the game. This is based on those who filled out our tour predictions. This was the one most people had right, because we saw the preview and knew that it was going to get a nice little buff. And so, hold down number 1. It's got a great size hitbox. Vampire Flyer, Yellow Off-Roader, both went up 1 to number 2 and 3. I would say all 3 of these top 3 or 4, even 5, are probably the strongest carts in the game, hands down. I think that they're getting all the assumed tracks. They're really, really strong in the game. Unfortunately, Silver King kind of slowly fading, but it's got such good value across the board. You really can't go wrong. If you wanted to take it to level 8, just for this, Ghost Valley ranked track, don't be afraid. It's still really, really powerful. I think some people want to get the new item, but Silver King and like the Black Great Sale, just 2 strong items that are going to be strong for probably the rest of the year. Just riding it out, back to back and ranked and all cup ranking, it's just going to be so strong. Tanuki Kart though, rising number up 1 spot to number 5. MX Doom Broom down 1 spot to 6. Gold Pumpkin Cart, and the Ramby Runner, both holding out their spots from last tour at number 7 and 8 respectively. Black Dozer broke the top 10 again, as we alluded to earlier, up 5 spots to number 9. Secure Quickshaw, always the surprise killer there, sticking out number 10, tour after tour after tour. Red Crawley Karts up to number 11. Crawley Karts, so nice to see the Crawley twins there, number 11 and 12 respectively. Black Turbo Birdo at 13, Black Cat Cruiser at 14, and Rose Taxi at 15. Ben, what are your thoughts on this top 10 carts?
I think I probably commented on this last time or like somewhere. I was surprised to see Red Crawley Kart up so high, and I'm looking at Tabor's sheet right now. It looks like that one is mostly being carried by ranked and its size. The course coverage and weighted coverage aren't particularly impressive. It's like 87th and 106th there. But it's still surprising to see it up there. Cact R, according to this algorithm, still has a pretty significant lead above second place. Tabor has the average rank for Cact R as 90.92, and then Vampire Flyer is 82.4. So that's like it's a little more than 8 points difference.
Wow.
Cactar's ranked number 1 in course coverage, CCV, 3rd in weighted course value, 5th in ranked, and it's 22nd in size. So that all those really low, high rankings are really putting it above everything else at the moment. So that's even more of a reason for me to invest in it. I don't think there's anything else I have to add on these.
Yeah, to your point about the Crawley cards, the red version, it's actually probably one of the highest of the commemorative items that we've seen in quite some time. The commemorative items seem to always be a little cursed compared to like the special new items that always seem to be just a little bit more favored. But hey, all these top 5, when you're thinking about, hey, which one do I want to take as my pillar for level 8? Really, these top 5 carts are all solid, well worth being able to, and not the Ramby Runner or Black Dozer. I mean, really, the carts always are stronger than the other items because, drivers or gliders, because there's just so many carts that to break this list, you really have to have great coverage. You have to have great size. And you can see that here. The Gold Pumpkin cart is one of the best coverages, but such a tiny hitbox. It really needed everything, all the other stars to align to be able to bring it in here. And look at it. It's holding down number 7. And again, that's a special item that came in a pipe. So, kind of just really hitting home the points we've already made here. Moving into gliders, a little uneventful at number 1 and 2 because the Golden Wings and Dream Glider holding down their spots from last tour. The 8-bit Super Mushroom, we knew it was going up. Went up 3 spots to number 3. Silver Surf Sailor, a strong glider still, down 1 spot to number 4. Magic Parasol, number 5. 8-bit Fire Flower, we knew it was hyped up a little bit from last tour, and the special pipe it was in. Thankfully only fell 2 spots, though, to number 6. We had the Springtime Crane at number 7. Ship's Wheel at number 8. And the biggest jumper by far, Candlelight Flight, up to number 9 on our list. Starry Great Sail back into the top 10. It is number 10 exactly, up 2 spots. Rose Parasol at 11. Gold Meteors at 12. Glinting Glider at 13. 8-bit Bullet Bill fell pretty dramatically there to 14. And then Vampire Wings at 15. What are your thoughts on the top 10 gliders?
It's kind of interesting to see the Candlelight Flight jump up so high. I didn't really have that one on my radar. The strongest category for it right now is the ranked value. It's 3rd right now. I wasn't aware it was used in ranked that often or appeared in ranked that often. I want to briefly say about Dream Glider and the 8-bit Super Mushroom. Those two are neck and neck right now, so at any point, the 8-bit Super Mushroom could overtake Dream Glider. So, and then numbers 10 through 13, they're also very close together. So those are kind of shuffling. I think you could probably expect some shuffling in the next couple tours. They're all in like the 68 point range there. Don't think I have anything else to say.
Whereas the 8-bit Super Mushroom, I know would do a lot for my account, but just thinking about taking it from level 3 to 6, 7, 8 just seems so daunting. But yeah, it's a really, really strong glider. I'm wondering how high it'll climb. These 8-bit items seem to always have a lot of value. Not sure why. Moving into the movers and shakers, Charging Chuck went up a total of 39 spots from 70 to 31. Massive jump there, but we've kind of already talked a little bit about him and what those buffs actually were behind the numbers. Mario Aviator up 24 spots to 47. Catalina up 21 spots to 21. King Bob-omb surprisingly went up 19 spots to 35. Wario Cowboy to 34. Rest of these will kind of skip around. Rosalina Swimwear, nice little 14 jump there for her, up to 19, probably because of her hitbox. Most of these that you saw, these are all big hitbox drivers, except for Mario Aviator. So, keep that in the back of your mind. King Boo Gold up 14 spots to 20, and then Fire Rosalina up 13 spots to 16. For the Karts, the biggest change was the Star Broom. We kind of alluded to a little bit of that earlier. The Combo Cruiser, really, really popular kart. It is now number 33 on our list, up 35 spots. So it's halfway to number 1 if you think about it that way. Still got some room to push away from other people. You got Cupid's Arrow up 26 spots to already 16. Wow. Just on the outside of the top 15, Cupid's Arrow, nice big hitbox, brand new item, absolutely brand new, and it's already number 16 on our list. Keep an eye on that. The Roaring Racer up to number 23, up 25 spots despite its hitbox. We got the Gray Cat Cruiser, number 24 on our list, up 23 spots. And that Jukebox Buggy up 14 spots to 29. And then for gliders, we got the Record Setter up 34 spots to 65. And Wonderful Wings up to 69, up 34 spots. I'll kind of skip through some of these. New Year's, as you alluded to earlier, up to 17 spots to 42. Candlelight Flight, this is what you were talking about before, up 11 spots. Nothing else really worth writing about. I will say this, gold toe beam balloons, although it went up 11 spots, still 43. I was hoping for more from these balloons. They looked really cool. What are your thoughts on the top movers and shakers, Ben?
Well, like we mentioned about the changing the algorithm, a lot of the drivers that are buffed are big, so that's boosting them up a lot. Again, Cupid's Arrow it's already so good. Like I said, it's getting all the new tracks, a lot of new tracks at least. Mushroom Gorge is included. And on your gold toe beans comment, it's been climbing pretty slowly for a non-spotlight glider. So...
Man, Cupid's Arrow, I'm walking away from the slide keeping an eye on that Cupid's Arrow, man. It's no one's talking about it, but it is climbing. It is climbing. We'll see what happens, man. If it's getting the right buffs, man, it's just a matter of time before it gets our attention. So let it be said here first, keep an eye on that Cupid's Arrow. For the All Cup ranking MVPs, Ben, you wanna do this since this is these are your stats anyway?
Well, I mean, I guess. So let's see. Peach Explorer, Mario Mii Racing Suit, and Silver Mii Racing Suit are all 11 appearances. I think this includes all the spotlight boosts, all of the level 3, level 6, level 8 courses, the mechos for the entire list. Wow, Tanuki Rosalina, Donkey Kong Mii Racing Suit, Luigi Mii Racing Suit, Peach Mii Racing Suit, and Toad all have 10, along with the Silver King. I know a lot of people noticed that it was popping up a lot in their ACR sheets, so that's a good one to invest in if you're going for ACR. Donkey Kong Jr., Red Mii Racing Suit, Bronze Mii Racing Suit, Rosalina, Yellow Off-Roader Cactar, Tanuki Kart, all of 9, Toadette Explorer, Charging Chuck have 8, along with Jukebox Buggy, Star Broom, Cupid's Arrow, Wonderful Wings, Ship's Wheel, Sky High Flyer, and Candlelight Flight. And those with 7 appearances are Waluigi Vampire, Cat Toad, Meowser, Luigi Vacation, Combo Cruiser, Magma Broom, Record Setter, Pink Gold Paper Glider, Gold Toe Beam Balloons, Silver Surfmaster, and Meteor Balloons. Meteor Balloons I was not expecting to see there. And I guess I didn't mention Mario's mustache, Luigi's mustache for 11. The other thing we did not include, I guess we still included the Silver Mii Racing Suit. I was going to say we didn't include the gold one because we won't be able to get that for at least another couple tours. I'm not sure how soon silver is going to be available. I haven't actually seen the second tier challenge cart or what the challenges are on it. So you might have to ignore the Silver Mii one for now.
For now, yeah, I will say this yellow 8-bit pipe frame, although it's new, if you take that out, the top 4 carts are top 5 carts on our top 10 list. So, it's one of those things where, if you are investing in the top 10, I know they're top 10 in a vacuum, but these are really strong carts. And really, I think any of the top 5 that are in our top 10 list are really, really strong to invest in. And this is the perfect tour because there are so many new tracks in this All-Cup ranking tour. So just kind of put that in the back of your mind. A lot to cover here for the ranked tracks. I will say for Mushroom Gorge, Cat Toad, who is in the pack, if you somehow want to take him to level 8, there's not a lot of great skills, so that is an option you have. But, having Cat Toad all at level 8 may not be your best decision this week. Luigi's mustache and Wonderful Wings, both new items. I have seen a lot of people invest strongly in the Wonderful Wings if you are close to level 8. Worth keeping an eye out. But there's a lot of great options for gliders, at least in my opinion, for this track compared to other new tracks. For the Ghost Valley 1T, Meowser is going to be your best bet, but you got Dry Bones Gold at level looks like level 8. So Meowser is going to have a bigger hitbox at a lower level. He's going to be one you want to invest in, but if you don't have him close to 6, just be aware he is probably going to be your best bet if you can put tickets on him, especially now that you got 5 tickets on Wednesday. A lot of card options. You got the Magna Broom at level 3, the Red Crawly card at level 3, the Gold Pumpkin card at level 6, the B-Dasher Mark II at level 8, and the Decal Streamliner at level 8. But there's so many great options here between Vampire Flyer, Silver King, so you may not need to use some of these to level them up, but just keep that in the back of your mind. Magic Parasol level 3, and then you have 3 gliders that are unlocked to level 6, including Golden Wings, Vampire Wings, and Banana Wingtip. I'm not sure how the Banana Wingtip
looks like it's level 8, actually.
You're right. Level 8 there for Banana Wingtip, which I don't really think goes very well with Ghost Valley 1T compared to these, Golden Wings or Vampire Wings, but whatever. Okay, yeah, Nintendo, go for it. For the Rainbow Road 1RT, I definitely think that this Bowser Santa is going to be your best option, but if you have Dry Bowser at level 8 for some reason, maybe you were trying to take it to level 8 for the shop or something like that, just be aware that that's not a bad option. The Waluigi Bus Driver at level 8, I would say don't even think about that because that is not potentially a great move for you. Great Cat Cruiser at level 3, Steel Driver at level 6, Festival Girl at level 8, Red Bee Dasher at level 8. You got the Toe Beam Balloons at level 3, the regular Toe Beam Balloons at level 6, New Year's 2021 level 8, and then the Safety Glider at level 8. So New Year's Glider 2021 at level 8. That's crazy, huh?
Yeah,
I guess it did come out that tour. I remember using Penguin Luigi back in the day. As for next week's ranked, this is one that I haven't really looked a lot at, but I know that Charging Chuck is available there on the Cheap Island. As for the rest of the drivers, you got Mario Baseball unlocked to level 6, Tanuki Rosalina at level 8. So a couple different options there. Moving into Karts for Cheap Island, you got Combo Cruiser at level 3, Cleanup Hitter at level 6, Sneaker Sneaker at level 6, Ghost Ride at level 8, Gold Cheap Snorkel at level 8. And then looking at gliders, you got the Yukata Ribbon at level 6, the Lay Tricolor at level 8, and then moving into Calamari Desert to our Bronze Mii Racing Suit at level 3, Peach Explorer at level 3. Many of you are probably using Dry Bones Gold at level 6, Pauline Party Time at level 6, and Wario Cowboy at level 6. As for the carts, got the yellow 8-bit pipe frame at level 3, the Carrot Cart and the Red Taxi and the Wild Wing all level 6, with the Brown Off-Roader at level 8. For gliders, you got the Chocolate Banana Crepe, the Rainbow Starshoot at level 6, with the Star Spangled Glider at level 8. And then finally, Mushroom Gorge T. You have the Peach Mii Racing Suit at level 3, Rosalina Mii Racing Suit at level 8, with a Pinch Hitter at level 8, and the Mario's Mustache at level 8. So Ben, anything you want to add about these ranked tracks and what's unlocked?
I think you covered everything pretty well.
All right, good. When you're talking about double and triple and quadruple feature, we have the Gold Mii Racing Suit quadruple feature when we don't even have it. How fun is that? Peach Mii Racing Suit also used 4 times, but one of which is unlocked to level 3. So that could be pretty clutch for you if you need it. This is what you were referring to earlier. Peach Happy used 3 times, along with Fire Rosalina, all at level 1, which is great for both of them. You got the Peach Explorer with the unlock at level 3 is used 3 times. The Cat Toad with the level 8 unlocked used 3 times. The Rosalina Mii Racing Suit at level 8 is used 3 times. And then a lot of items used 2 times, including Donkey Kong Jr. SNES, Donkey Kong Mii Racing Suit, Luigi Mii Racing Suit, Mario Mii Racing Suit, Red Mii Racing Suit, Silver Mii Racing Suit, Luigi Golf, Builder Luigi, and Penguin Toadette, all used 2 times at level 1. Then we got some options with some unlocks, including the Bronze Mii Racing Suit with their level 3 unlocked, the Charging Chuck with its level 3 unlocked, and then we have Mario Baseball with its level 6, and then Tanuki Rosalina with its level 8, and the Dry Bones Gold, if you have it unlocked to level 8, then you would use it twice, one of which would be at level 6. So those are the drivers unlocked, with the double feature, triple feature, quadruple feature even. As for carts, you got one that is going to be used 3 times, which is the yellow 8-bit frame. It unlocked at level 3. It brings you 3 tracks. Then a lot of options for 2 tracks, including Black Dozer, Roaring Racer, Clackety Kart, Jet Cruiser, Silver King, Gold Snow Skimmer, Inferno Flyer, and Yellow Off-Roader, all used 2 times at level 1. Then you have the Gray Cat Cruiser used twice with a level 3 unlocked. The Combo Cruiser used twice with a level 3 unlocked. Carrot Cart with a level 6 unlocked. A Decal Streamer with a level 8. And Pitch Hitter with a level 8 as well. Then finally, gliders that are used 2 or 3 times in ranked. We have the Luigi's Mustache used 3 times and the Mario's Mustache, both because of their level 8 unlock. So if you can take it all the way to 8, you are in luck. You are using it 3 times in ranked. As for the rest of the gliders, Meteor Balloons, Black Great Sail, Black Toe Beam Balloons, Candlelight Flight, Home Field Glider, Starry Great Sail, 8-Bit Super Mushroom, Sunny Surf Sailor, all used 2 times at level 1. Now I'm starting to understand why Tabor mentioned that there are so many options when it comes to ranked. You can read them right here. I'm already starting to lose breath. Gold toe beam balloons with its level 3 unlocked used twice. Golden wings used twice thanks to its level 6 unlocked. Wonderful wings, the New Year's 2021, and the Star Spangled glider with its level unlocked for all 3 of those. You can use it 2 times. Ben, do you have anything to say about your ranked usage for these multiple use ranked?
Well, I think just general, I guess, word of caution. Like, when you're looking at this list, try to keep in mind what other things you already have at higher levels for these courses. Like, a lot of the non-Coinboxers in particular, sometimes they have multiple ranked appearances, but on, like, all of their ranked appearances, they have Coinboxes. So just kind of keep an eye out for that. I think something that I'm probably going to be leveling up is Charge and Chuck. Because as of right now, he's my best on Cheap Cheap, Island, and Mushroom Gorge T.
Wow,
so
okay.
It makes sense to raise him up from level 4. I might raise the Gold Snow Skimmer as well, because that's also my best on RMX Rainbow Road and Calamari Desert 2R. It has surprisingly good coverage, even though it is small, the Gold Snow Skimmer. Or, like, even though it doesn't have a lot of coverage, it's coverage that can be hard to come by.
I haven't really paid much attention to it. I'll have to keep an eye out for it.
Yeah, I think it's more relevant for people who don't spend as much, because a lot of the courses it shares with other carts are, like, I guess, more paywalled or, like, more pipe-locked things, whereas this was just given in Gold Pass 1 or 2 times.
Yeah.
So it's more accessible.
Cool, man. Yeah, there's a lot of options. However, when I look at people's loadouts, most of them are using kind of the similar loadout. They're using Meowser and either Silver King or whatever, and Black Ray Sail. These are 3 great items that you can't go wrong with investing in. I'm seeing Bowser Santa. I'm seeing a lot of the same stuff. TK Junior SNES. So I think with drivers, I'm seeing a lot of the similar items. But yeah, hopefully this helps you out. Hopefully this gives you some good advice. And with that 2.5 hours, we are now done, Ben, with probably the most epic episode of the Rundown. Thank you so much for being a good sport and helping us out, having patience. I think actually we just hit reset here. It's 1 a.m. Here on the East Coast. I know you're on the West Coast, so you probably still haven't even eaten lunch yet. But thanks for joining us, Ben. I really appreciate that. And anyone who's watching at home, I just want to put this out there. Carlos has teamed up with the Nintendo Europe and has a competition coming up. So if you have not entered that tournament, please do so. I promised I'd mention it, but I also knew I was going to forget something. So I'm glad I got it in here at the end. Definitely check out. You have to be through his server, sign up. So definitely check that out. All right. And if you haven't already, just click like. I know it takes a couple extra seconds to get out of the video and just press that like button, but that does help us get this out there. And if you want to learn about our memberships, if you want to be on the Rundown potentially one day, or be on Kart Talk, or be involved in everything that we're doing, be on voice chat while we're getting the tour reveal, definitely check out our channel, check out our Discord server. And Ben, how would you? Obviously, you've gone through the gauntlet, 2.5 hours here of the Rundown. What would you like to say to your fans at home before we let them all get back to their life?
Well, I want to say thank you to Studfit, first of all, for allowing me to be on the Rundown. I had a lot of fun. It didn't really feel like 2.5 hours. And I also wanted to mention, Studfit mentioned earlier that I am a data person. So I also maintain a version of BAM and Gerbs. It's kind of similar to Antilev's, like it tries to incorporate ACR, and it's using kind of the same, I guess, structures that I use to make the ACR count. So there are separate ACR tabs where you can like look just at the tour, and it includes all the repeated courses and all that. And it has the pre-filled tab just like Antilev. So if you want to potentially look at that while Antilev's still on vacation and hasn't updated the tracker yet, I'll share a link or something with StudFit. So.
Yep, link will be in the description. Definitely check that out. But Ben, thanks for having us. You want to say goodbye to your fans?
All right, thank you, and maybe I'll see you some other time on a video.
Yeah, guys, may the friends of luck be with you. We'll see you later.